This is Nationwide 90 FM, owned and operated by Nationwide News Network. We broadcast from our studios at 6 Bradley Avenue, Kingston 10, Jamaica. Transmitting on the FM 90 band. 90.3 from Peters Rock in St. Andrew and Murphy Hill in St. Anne. Serving Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, St. Anne, parts of Clarendon, St. Mary, and St. Thomas. 90.5 from Huntley in Manchester, transmitting to St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Manchester, Clarendon, rural St. Andrew, and parts of St. Thomas. And 90.7 from Cooper's Hill in St. Andrew and Flower Hill in St. James, serving Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, sections of Trelawney, Kingston, St. Catherine, Clarendon, St. Mary, Portland, and St. Anne. Nationwide 90 FM also broadcasts on the World Wide Web on nationwideradiojm.com and on Flow on channel 916. Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media. You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is 6 o'clock.
From the studios of Nationwide Radio, morning radio the right way. It's Nationwide This Morning.
Coming up in the news at 6 this morning, Monday, July 15, 2024, 100 new buses are set to be added to the JUTC's fleet. The JPS says restoration work will be done in small, isolated communities this week. The NWSC says only about 15% of customers who lost water due to Beryl are still without supply. In regional news, missing Trinidadian rideshare driver is found dead. In international news, Donald Trump says either God or just plain good luck saved him from would-be assassin. And in the sports report, Junior Sunshine Girls finish unbeaten at America's World Youth Cup qualifiers. In business, Burberry appoints new CEO as the fashion house warns of first half operating loss.
Calling all fisher folk and aquaculture farmers. Now you can get your license quick. Log on to iRefins and check out the thing. Use your smartphone and click, register, pay and get your license. Sign up for iRefins, cause real fishermen have them licensing of them on. Go to irefins.nfa.gov.jm or contact the National Fisheries Authority. iRefins is a joint project of the NFA and the Transformation Implementation Unit.
Catch the first news of the day. A comprehensive package of local, international, sports, and business news. The news at 6 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. The Jamaica Urban Transit Company JUTC is set to take delivery of 100 new buses today. The buses are due to arrive at Kingston Wharves later on Monday. Transport Minister Daryl Vaz says the development is a case of promise made, promise kept.
You'll recall that in November, December of 23, when the misery index was at its highest in relation to the waiting time for buses by the JUTC, I gave a commitment that help was on the way and asked for the patience of the commuters. I subsequently announced the purchase of 100 buses, and I had indicated throughout the time that they would get here in July in time for back to school. Well, I can say that that commitment has been made and met. So what I'm saying is that we will have 100 new buses in the fleet for back to school, which will obviously improve things significantly. But 100 buses is one thing. We still need to make sure that the allocation of these buses in relation to routes and the redeployment of other buses make all the routes better served for the September morning.
The buses are valued at over $3 billion. Minister Vaz says commuters will be able to track the movement of the buses using a mobile app.
These buses are smart buses, and therefore the commuters and the public at large will be able to interact through an app which will allow for them to track these buses to see exactly what time they are expected at the various locations. So we have a plan to roll out, and you'll hear more about it in due course.
Daryl Vaz, Transport Minister. The Jamaica Public Service Company JPS says its restoration efforts will target small isolated communities across the island this week. This as approximately 26,000 customers outside of St. Elizabeth remain without power 12 days after Hurricane Beryl struck sections of the island. Shalois Michael has that story.
Approximately 96% of people outside of St. Elizabeth who lost power due to Hurricane Beryl have been reconnected to the power grid. Speaking with Nationwide News on Sunday, Director of Corporate Communications at JPS, Winsome Callum, says the remaining customers are mostly located in smaller communities, which the company was previously not able to access.
We have made significant progress in getting electricity to our customers since the passage of Hurricane Beryl. We haven't gotten to everyone, but we have, outside of the most bad parish of St. Elizabeth, we have just over 26,000 customers in multiple parishes without power. Now, these customers are in locations that are affected by damage caused to the infrastructure, or they are in communities that we have not been able to access. In most cases, based on the reports that we're getting, these customers who are still out are in communities where parts of those communities have been restored.
She says the teams have been deployed in parishes across the island to expedite restoration to these communities.
We have an approach that is meant to expedite the closing out of these small areas that are still without electricity. So we have teams working in every single parish, dealing with the individual customers, dealing with those small communities, those single streets here and there that still have not gotten back their service. This is the most frustrating time for our customers. We understand that because you see everyone else getting electricity and it has been a while. But I guarantee you that we are doing our very best and we are going to get to you over the next few days.
In St. Elizabeth, the damage to power lines caused by Hurricane Beryl is about 5 times worse than the rest of the island. Ms. Callum says it may take a few more weeks before electricity is fully restored to customers in the Breadbasket parish.
We've already started restoring customers in St. Elizabeth. We have identified the extent of the damage, and based on what we have seen during our damage assessment, we have indicated that it may take us up to early August to get every single customer back on in St. Elizabeth. But we have already started, and every day we are adding more and more customers. So we have a number of communities that we are energizing today in St. Elizabeth, and this will continue every day. Over the next few weeks, we'll have about 300 persons working throughout the parish to get the power back to our customers in St. Elizabeth.
Shalois Michael for Nationwide News.
Meanwhile, the JPS says some customers in Hope Pasture St. Andrew should have their service restored today. The service was suspended for scores of residents on Sunday, July 14, due to challenges with the aged underground electrical network that serves the community. Public Relations and Media Manager at JPS, Audrey Williams, spoke with our news center on Sunday.
We are working on that as well. We do expect that by tomorrow, power will be restored to that part of Hope Pastures.
Audrey Williams, Public Relations and Media Manager at JPS. The National Water Commission, NWC, says water has been restored to approximately 85% of customers who've been without supply since the passage of Hurricane Beryl. The acting corporate public relations manager at NWC is Delano Williams.
We have progressed with the restoration of quite a number of potable water supply plants over the last 10 or so days since the passage of Hurricane Beryl. At this point, we are at approximately 85% of our customer base is now receiving piped water, whether on regulation or back to their normal supply times.
Williams says some customers may have to wait a few more weeks before their supply is restored.
Some of the systems that rely on public power supply realistically could take a few more weeks in terms of electrification getting back to them. Similarly, there are some systems which we have which require cleaning of the intakes because of a lot of silt and debris, a lot of gravel, and those will take some time for restoration work. Average time is about a week for those systems. So it will vary given the terrain for some places. The hardest hit parishes would be St. Elizabeth and Manchester areas, and to an extent as well, we are having to deal with the realities in South Clarendon.
Delana Williams, Acting Corporate Public Relations Manager at NWC. Meanwhile, the NWC says it may not have to reimpose water restrictions in the corporate area and St. Catherine, given the strong inflows to its storage facilities.
If there is not a significant increase in the storage levels, we will have to put it back. But we're hoping that the rainfall that we're getting now post-burial, if it continues on the same trend, we may be able to relax if the dam levels and the reservoir levels get to a level that can sustain 24/7 water supply over the next several weeks until the formal rainy season gets to us. The Constant Spring network is at 100% in terms of the capacity of the dam. The Mona Reservoir was in the 70s. We're hoping the inflows continue to rise, or if they are even sustained at this level for the next week or so, we could be in a position where we can relax the regulations.
Delana Williams, Acting Corporate Public Relations Manager at NWC. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the government is accelerating recovery efforts in communities worst affected by Hurricane Beryl.
Persons are frustrated about their water, they are frustrated about their electricity, and we are working double time to restore that. I know some areas in St. Elizabeth have got back electricity. I've gotten a few calls to say, thank you, we have got back our electricity, but not enough. And so I'm not here saying that the problem is solved, but I'm here saying that the problem is being worked on and we're seeing results.
Speaking in Clarendon on the weekend, the Prime Minister appealed for patience, even as he said he understands the rising level of frustration.
I say to the people who are very frustrated now, please continue to have faith. Your electricity and your water will return. And I know for most people, that's what they want. They want their electricity and their water, and they will find their way. They will do the rest. And so we are working as quickly as possible. And there has been a marked improvement in telephone service. So generally, in the hardest hit areas, we are seeing incremental movements towards recovery. In the coming days, we intend to accelerate, and the JDF and the line ministries will be working together for synergy to ensure that the people of Jamaica, especially the people on the south coast of Jamaica who have been so terribly hit, that they are properly served.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness. And the Prime Minister commended the Jamaica Defence Force for their role in the post-burial recovery effort.
The JDF is the repository really of the country's logistics, engineering and security capabilities. So what the JDF's role is to act as a kind of multiplier of the resources that may exist in the standing agencies. So, for example, the JDF will be assisting with the humanitarian relief. The JDF will be assisting with assessment. And so they deployed their drones to be able to do rapid aerial assessments, which has really enhanced our capabilities to do these assessments and to get very granular and to see scale of damage.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness. The Manchester police are probing the murder of 2 people and wounding of a man at a business establishment in Bigwood District, Craighead, on Saturday night. The deceased are 39-year-old businesswoman Tanisha Burton, otherwise called Browning, and 74-year-old Wilfred Mallison, otherwise called Danny, both of Bigwood District. Reports are that about 10 p.m., residents heard loud explosions in the community and alerted the police. On their arrival, 3 people were found suffering from gunshot wounds. Burton and Mallison were pronounced dead at hospital, while the other man was admitted for treatment. Police theorized that Burton may have been the intended target. One resident, who gave his name as Henry, says the incident has left him rattled.
I shock out, nervous this morning when me hear what go on. Can't believe. I never see nothing like this here yet. We and Browning got market together and things. And this man here, me know me suffer me a little boy. Yeah. So me never know him golf in nothing yet. Me never hear them and there nobody and no problem, no quarrel, no cussing, nothing yet. Me feel it, man. First of all, we are on the right now because we don't know what happened. Can't believe what happened or what go on.
Henry, a resident of Bigwood in Manchester. The Ministry of Health and Wellness has begun sensitization sessions under a program dubbed Operation Refresh. The program forms part of the government's efforts to allow community health aides to make home visits and health checks across the island. Speaking at the first session in St. Anne, the Health Minister, Dr. Chris Tufton, reminded the community aides of the importance of being the first public health point of contact at the community level.
You are going to have to be equipped with a kit so you can check a blood pressure if necessary. You are going to be an important source of information gathering because you go in a big yard and you notice the garbage is not tended to. You go back to the public health people and you say to nurse and by extension to the environmental health officer, well, we need to do something about that yard, otherwise leptospirosis is going to get them people here. So you are a critical source of information. What it means is that you have to see yourself as building relationships with your community. That's why a lot of you work in the community where you reside.
Dr. Tufton says the aim of the program is to give those Jamaicans suffering from non-communicable diseases an alternative to going to a hospital for illnesses that can otherwise be managed.
We have to get going, otherwise Rome is going to burn. And we're going to have to take some of the responsibility for that. We don't have enough hospital beds to store people who are hypertensive and neglect to take their medication. Even the better thing for you, why you are so important, is that in the context of community health, outside of the public health nurse who provides supervision for you, and maybe the doctor who works at the health center, the community health aides are the most important person at the level of community health.
That's Chris Tufton, Dr. Chris Tufton, the Minister of Health and Wellness. That's it for the local segment of the news. After the break, regional and international stories.
Did you know that many of my schoolmates have an unhealthy diet, especially at school? And now 23% of them are overweight and or obese? And so one less sugary drink at my school may mean one friend less,
or two or three,
at risk of cavities or diabetes. And if we're served less foods high in saturated fats, sugar and sodium, it may reduce our risk from obesity, heart disease and high blood pressure.
The solution is simple, right? Act now.
Let's get unhealthy foods and beverages out of our schools.
A message from the Heart Foundation of Jamaica and partners.
Regional news now. The body of a missing Trinidadian man, Shaquem Charles, was found in Penal on Saturday. The 33-year-old Charles, a rideshare driver of Indian Walk in Moruga, was reported missing last Tuesday. His vehicle was discovered abandoned in Valencia on Wednesday. According to reports, his body was found in a bushy area off Sunrise Branch Road in Penal on Saturday. International news now. Former U.S. President Donald Trump says he's supposed to be dead after Saturday night's assassination attempt at a rally in Pennsylvania. In one of his first interviews since the incident, Trump told conservative U.S. media he felt he had been saved by luck or by God. Trump says it was the most incredible thing that he happened to not only turn his head, but to do so at the right time. He says the bullet that grazed his ear could have easily killed him. A spectator was killed in the attack while 2 other people were seriously injured. The gunman, who also died, has been named as Thomas Matthew Crooks.
Does your bra ride up your back? Do your shoulders hurt from carrying the weight of your breasts? These are signs of an ill-fitting bra. When was the last time you were fitted by a bra fit specialist? The bra experts at LaBelle Femme will take care of you. Drop into the store at 53 Lady Musgrave Road, Tuesdays to Saturdays from 10 to 5, and you will see the difference. Or call 876-622-6091.
outlast. Hilti, with top performance. Hilti, Chakama, reliable, full stop, not comma. We have the expertise for drilling and demolition. We have the power tools for plumbers and electrician. Pan select tools, 3 parts and 3 repairs. 3 parts, 3 repairs. 2 to 3 years. Hilti, available at Delta Supply, 106 Hagley Park Road. Call us at 876-302-6111-4. Delta Supply, we service what we sell.
At Design Privacy, we value relationships. Join our exclusive open DPO community and interact with privacy professionals. Share ideas, insightful challenges, and build career-boosting connections with expert advice at your fingertips. Get access to specialized tools, exclusive workshops, and case studies. Enjoy unparalleled networking. Join Design Privacy's open DPO community to expand your expertise and excel in your career. Visit opendpocommunity.com today and take your data privacy skills to the next level.
Time now for sports. Inter Milan striker Lautaro Martinez came off the bench in the 97th minute to score a 112th minute winner for Argentina to give La Albiceleste their 16th Copa America title against Colombia at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, Florida on Sunday. Lionel Messi, the inspirational Argentine captain, left the field in tears in minute 66 with an ankle injury, and Martinez wasn't summoned, as I noted, until the 97th minute, and it was his goal from a Giovanni Lo Celso pass that broke Colombian hearts and pushed Argentina into a position as the winningmost team in the history of South American football, which of course the supremacy of South American football is the Copa America. Jamaica's under-21 netball team ended the America's World Youth Cup qualifiers undefeated. The Young Sunshine Girls beat Barbados 54-29 in the final in Guadeloupe on Sunday. The Young Sunshine Girls coach Phyllis Thompson says after coming through a difficult semi-final, the team had to refocus and come back strong for the final.
We went back to the drawing board and I told the ladies, just let us go out there and play our game. And they did this evening. They went out there and we played Jamaica netball, so we're victorious.
Phyllis Thompson, the Young Sunshine Girls coach. Trinidad and Tobago under-19 will resume on 171-7 on day 2 of their West Indies Rising Stars 2-day championship against Jamaica at Park Hill. Andrew Rambaran, 49, and Jason Agard, 12, are the not-out batsmen. Tamari Wedwood has so far taken 3 wickets for the Jamaicans. On Sunday, Jamaica declared their first innings on 169 for 9. Michael Clark made 44 and Steve Wedderburn 38. Joshua Davis took 3 wickets for TNT. It's now time for the Nationwide Olympic Fact.
This is Nationwide's Olympic Facts, brought to you by the Real Estate Board and the Commission of Strata Corporations.
Did you know that Jamaican athletes competed in 3 sporting disciplines at our first Olympic Games in 1948, 12 years after becoming an IOC member? Yes, that's a fact. Jamaica sent a delegation of 29 athletes to the 1948 Summer Games in London, where we competed in 3 disciplines: boxing, weightlifting, and track and field.
That was Nationwide's Olympic Facts, brought to you by the Real Estate Board and the Commission of Strata Corporations.
That's it for sports.
Attention all commuters, your JUTC fares just got lower. Use your Smarter card today and pay only $50. Yes, only $50. Travel safe and hassle-free with the JUTC using your Smarter card. But wait, there's more. Get 3 free rides with your first Smarter card top-up before May 31. With your Smarter card, paying your fare is easier. Say goodbye to coins and hello to hassle-free travel. Don't miss this opportunity when you travel with the JUTC, your route to excellence. Conditions apply.
Me grew up as my granny save her money under her mattress.
But at an all-time something, that's where I save my money in the bank. And because I want to buy a little house, I also save in a building society. We have to be smart with how we save our money.
So, what if the bank crash?
Well, that's where JDIC comes in. Make I tell you something. With the JDIC Deposit Insurance Scheme, once you save your money in a commercial bank, merchant bank, or building society, your deposit is covered up to a maximum of $1.2 million per depositor per financial institution if the institution fails. All the information that you need is available at jdic.org, and you can follow their social media platform for more information.
JDIC, protecting deposits for you and me.
Time now for some business news. World shares began the week trading mixed, and U.S. futures were higher after a shooting at a rally for former President Donald Trump. China reported that its economy expanded at a slower than forecast rate of 4.7% in the last quarter as its ruling Communist Party opened a once-a-decade policy-setting meeting. Markets seemed to take in stride the shooting at Trump's rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, that is being investigated as an attempted assassination of the presumptive Republican nominee. Shares in Trump Media and the Technology Group Corporation jumped sharply in pre-market trading on Monday, gaining as much as 70%. They were up 52% at $46.92 a share, $46.92 a share on the Nasdaq as at 6 a.m. local time in New York. Germany's DAX edged 0.1% lower, and in London, the FTSE 100 was down 0.1%. The futures for the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones Industrial Average were 0.4% higher. British luxury fashion house Burberry said it has appointed Joshua Schulman, formerly the head of Michael Kors and Coach, as its new chief executive officer. This as the company warned it expected to record an operating loss in the first half of the year amid slumping retail sales. Burberry said Schulman replaces Jonathan Aykroyd, who would step down and leave the firm with immediate effect by mutual agreement with the board. The unexpected announcement came as Burberry said full-year earnings will also be lower than expected and suspended its shareholder dividend payouts. Burberry shares plunged more than 11% soon after markets opened on Monday. China's economy stumbled in the second quarter just as the country's top leaders gathered for a key meeting to address sluggish growth. It grew 4.7% in the 3 months to June, falling short of expectations after a stronger start in the first 3 months of 2024. The government's annual growth target is around 5%. The world's second largest economy is facing a prolonged property crisis, steep local government debt, weak consumption, and high unemployment. The country is seeking solutions from the meeting underway in Beijing, also called the Third Plenum. Past outcomes of the plenum have changed the course of history in China. In 1978, then leader Deng Xiaoping began opening China's markets to the world, and in 2013, President Xi Jinping hinted at loosening the controversial one-child policy. That should be 2023. Yeah, there you go. All right, that's the business news.
For all your musical needs, visit the Music Mart, the most complete music store in Jamaica. Telephone 876-960-7712. The time brought to you by the Music Mart is
6:28.
Is there a small business person in your community making a big difference? Do they inspire you and others? How are they helping? Let the Supreme Ventures Foundation know who is your Supreme Community Hero. Nominate yours and we will select 5 community-based businesses to receive a grant to invest in their business and in the community, plus entrepreneurial training. So, who is your Supreme Community Hero? Visit sv-foundation.com to nominate your Supreme Community Hero now. Nominations close July 26.
The the best. Burger King with the best tasting burger under the sun. You deserve the best. You are number one. Best. Flame grilling, juicy whopper, cause you deserve it. Yeah, next level, awesome, that's how we serve it. Mama menu done your way. You got the taste rules every day. Flame grilled goodness, you deserve it. Great taste, well done. More flavor, fresh Burger King, best tasting burger under the sun.
Live exquisite this year with new arrival black and chrome fixtures for your home at Unique Living. Select from a wide variety of rain shower systems, fabulous faucets, and stylish sinks to suit your kitchen and bathrooms. Get uncompromised quality and style unique to you. Shop everything new at Unique Living, Jamaica's leading shower and faucets provider. Visit shop number 6, 30 Dunrobin Avenue, Kingston 10, or call 876-755-3661 to 2.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
mighty people.
6:32 on this Monday morning, Monday, July 15, 2024. You're with Nationwide this morning. My name is George Davis.
And I'm Said Bernard.
How are you, sir?
Good, top of the morning to you, George.
Top of the morning?
Yeah, man.
All
top
right.
of the morning, top of the morning.
Top with the tea and the morning and everything to the people.
Top of the morning to your listeners and viewers, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. School is out, I believe. School is out. It is? School out
Long
now?
time, Bridget.
Oh, yeah, man. So, yeah, people just heading to work and, some people going to leave out a bit later now, George, because the road should be a bit clearer. So, brewing your tea, boiling your tea, brewing your coffee. Big up yourself, top of the morning. How are you, George?
I'm very well. Very, very well.
Good.
Very, very
Can't
well.
ball.
Yeah, man. The weekend was extraordinary for what we saw on Saturday.
Uh-huh.
I heard you this morning with your theory. And your theory is not far-fetched. That's the sad part, yeah?
Exactly.
You tend to think that what we saw was a stage-managed incident.
They're parts of me. I have questions.
You have questions.
I have questions.
What I'll say is this, and I thought of several approaches to dealing with this issue this morning. The first thing I'll say is this: stereotypes are uncomfortable. Stereotypes are stereotypes are often unhelpful. But stereotypes condition us to prepare for eventualities. It gives you a basis of what to expect from people in situations. And so it's the human condition to want to be forearmed. It's a new human condition to want information to be forewarned so that you can then engineer the best outcome for yourself. And remember I said that stereotypes are dangerous. Or did I say dangerous? No, but I'm saying it now. And that they're unhelpful. But it's funny that when the headline started being communicated around the world, the story that Donald J. Trump had been shot, the first thing that came to my mind was that a white man did it. Absolutely first thing that came to my mind was that a white man did it. And of course, a white man was the man behind it. And so you realize that in the US society, where the struggle for equality and acceptance and for everybody to be treated the same, it's going to be a lifelong struggle for everybody as long as people live. Not necessarily for you now living, but even those who come after you when you die, it's still going to be the struggle that they're going to fight for equality and acceptance for all. This morning, so many things are still being said about that Trump incident. And so many things will continue being said. One of the things that will not be discussed is the blowback against white men for what happened on Saturday. But you know where I'm going with this. That if it were a Muslim man who had taken a shot at Donald Trump, especially if it was a non-white Muslim man, Muslims around the United States this morning will be cowering in fear, and justifiably so, because there would be blowback. If it had been a black man who had taken that shot at Donald J. Trump, notwithstanding what Saeed believes to be the authenticity around certain aspects. Well, I'm not leave you out there for hanging up. I know say you're as a professional you have to travel and all these things, so I'm not damaging your wings. I'm just saying that had it been a black man, people like us who live in the castle of the skin that we do would have serious cause to fret. What is going to happen to me now as a repercussion of a black man taking a shot at Donald Trump? Which then makes a lie of this thing about equality and everybody being the same and judged by the same standards. It is not true. And this is but the latest example. Life carries on for all white men in the United States. Mm-hmm. Notwithstanding the fact that a white man tried to eliminate a former president and the man who is the favorite to win on the first Tuesday in November. I go further to say that the United States, and this again is an extension of the inequality and power dynamic, and when you hold power, you wield power in a way that it can't be equitable because you're just more powerful than your partners in the share of the dynamic. I said it in a throwaway way in our group chat when we were talking about this issue Saturday night. But already, the U.S. State Department would have advised its citizens against traveling to Jamaica. If this situation had happened in Jamaica.
I said it on social media.
Yeah, I did say it before you do. Yeah, pirate me. Come and say it in the group. Yeah, yeah. We make light of it, but it's true.
Yeah.
Had a Jamaican prime minister in an election campaign stood somewhere and what happened to Trump happened to them,
travel advisory,
the US would have warned its citizens against being seen in public in Jamaica because of rampant crime, the brazenness of the criminals, and the fact that if it is that the most senior politician in the country could be the target of a gunman, well, you don't want to say gunwoman, a gunman, then the country is not safe, so citizens should be wary. Of course, Jamaica is not in the position and will never be in the position to issue a travel advisory.
Unfortunately.
Yeah? Well, it's just a reality. That's what I'm saying. It's a natural thing because we depend on the visitors there to fuel our tourism horse. So it's not a similar thing. So it's just, these are just the realities that we live with. And it puts into context for you just where you stand in the dynamic. This is not a race baiting what's on my mind any at all. None of us here are racists. But it's just an expression, an acknowledgement of reality. White people in the United States are more equal than any other race. It's a fact. And however you slice it, you're going to look at the same way on the plate. Think about it deeply. Had this been someone of another hue, someone of another race, what we'll be talking about this morning is measures to crack down. We're not talking about that. I don't know if I want to say not talking about that, thankfully. But it just goes to show you. And the fact of the travel advisory also shows you where you are. So when we say that, the US are our partners, not really. The US doesn't see itself as our equal. It speaks that kind of language because, you want the little person to feel good, the little person being Jamaica. But that's just a part of those are the things that I thought about in the immediate aftermath of this thing. Now, to whether it was staged, the fact that you can cause yourself to think that in the first place shows you what kind of country the United States of America is. It is not far-fetched to think that something like this could have been, although I don't think that in this instance that's what happened. I think Donald J. Trump is just a very, very lucky man this morning. And that the young man who was behind that rifle got it wrong, thankfully. And even if you hate Trump, you couldn't have taken any satisfaction if the assassin got it right. Thankfully, the would-be assassin got it wrong. Very, very tragic that people died. One man died.
Another injured.
Yes, the firefighter died and 2 people seriously wounded in this incident. The fact is, politics is a very dangerous undertaking. You've heard me say here that I doff my cap when I wear one, or my hat, to people who stand for political office in any country. That is not the Denmarks, the Norways, and even in those places ranked as the happiest to live in and the highest living standards, still very dangerous. I mean, when you talk about people who are at home going through various states and just decide to kill some people. I mean, Anders Behring Breivik, the Norwegian, on that island not so long ago, killing so many people. A man, highly educated in a prosperous country, still leaning to mass murder and executing it. But the fact is, politicians we treat them like rubbish. I want to use another word, but it's not fit for airplay. We treat these men and women not well enough. What they go through, the abuse they suffer on the campaign, the fact that people literally want to do harm to them, the fact that in the face of that hostility, hate, they still press on. Not because they're trying to make themselves rich, many of them, but they believe that there's a job to be done in service to the people, is to be commended. Many of us would never do that. Many of us would not face the white heat of a political campaign or the blue heat of a political campaign. And these guys put themselves out there, sitting targets for the kind of mad people like the one who tried to end Donald J. Trump early. I say to politicians this morning, I respect your hustle. I respect the fact that you do things that many of us would not put up with, things that would cause us to grab a man and punch him in the face. You take that daily and you carry on. Respect to all of you. It's a dangerous undertaking. And I long realized that that's not for me. I don't have the temperament. Yeah? I don't have the temperament to abide by certain things. So I leave certain things alone. I'll stay here and wrangle with those in the YouTube chat who don't have no sense and talk foolishness sometimes. Yeah, I'll just with them. Yeah. So when a counselor who made a video exposing themselves in a disgraceful way hides under a name and calls and talks nonsense, I can reconcile that. But to go out there to be a sitting target, not for me. Trump lucky this morning to still be here with us. But consider the things as I've said, the power dynamic and the state of relationships, Jamaica's role in the relationship with the USA, and the fact of a white man did it, so life goes on. Believe me, I'm glad to say one white man tried.
We probably need to send election observers to the United States. Need to ensure that their democracy can withstand the midterm elections.
Yes, sir. Excellent point, sir. Excellent point.
We need to perhaps consider intervening.
Yes.
To ensure that there's stability in their political functions,
yes,
and political office.
Yes.
Because we're deeply concerned, yes, for the state of democracy.
Yeah, we need to summon the ambassador.
Yes. Yes. There might need to be we might need to have some intervention, and we might need to send a special body to the United States to intervene and to observe the elections.
To ensure democracy is preserved.
Absolutely.
That's the segment.
It's This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
30 minutes to 7 o'clock.
JANAC Global Accreditation, promoting consumer confidence, facilitating market access through internationally accepted accreditation and training services. Accreditation, your visa for global access. Accredited once, accepted everywhere. Call JANAC Global Accreditation at 876-968-7790 or visit our website at www.janaac.gov.jm.
This summer, transform your summer body with Express Fitness Gym. For just $9,500 on AutoPay, you'll get access to all our locations 24/7. Enjoy free classes, fully air-conditioned facilities, showers, and changing rooms. Plus, our certified trainers are here to help you reach your goals. Visit Express Fitness Gym today. Your goal is our mission. Find a location near you or sign up now at pay.expressfitnessja.com.
When last you get good bun? You don't know good bun until you have a mother's bakery bun. From you pull open the wrapper and it's soft so till. A sub bun for nice. And from when you take the first bite, love it so till. A sub bun for nice. Beg your piece.
Get your own mother's bakery bun.
I will buy one off you.
Yes, but I will charge a convenience fee.
I will take one. Me too.
Mother's Bakery Buns. A sub bun for nice. Try them today.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute is brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
Ludlow McLean, Street Smarts 1. Good morning.
What morning, George? Morning, Tony.
What go on? No, Tony is not out. Not here this morning, my friend.
Okay. Anyway, the listeners, morning time. I still want to report Lady Musgrave Olo Road. Lights are not functioning there. Well, there's no light there. Very important intersection. Likewise, Trafalgar and Worthington Avenue. From Worthington it takes it across to Braemar. So those lights are not working. Very important. Well, no problem at this time, but later on it can be a problem, especially when the traffic is. But so far so good. Most of the major thoroughfares are running smooth, but I must caution you that the intersections are busy. Washington Boulevard, Malines, Patrick Drive, Washington Boulevard, Don Robin intersection. Those are intersections. In the meantime, a number of motorists are on the not motorists, they call them commuters or pedestrians. They're on the road waiting for transportation. So in the meantime, not much delays, as I said. So until about 7:18, thereabout, we return you to the studios. George.
Thank you, Lord McLean there with the Street Smarts 1. Up next, the word of the day.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute was brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
Your word of the day is spelled Nebulize. That's Nebulize.
Nebulize. Nebulize. Nebulize.
Your word of the day is nebulize. It's a verb and it means to become vague, indistinct, or nebulous. To become vague, indistinct, or nebulous. To use it in a sentence, the details of the contract slowly nebulized in my mind, making it difficult to remember specific terms. Or the once clear skyline began to nebulize, obscured by layers of smog and mist. So that's your word in a sentence, nebulize. First recording in the 1870s. Yeah, nebulize.
Nebulize. Yeah. So, I mean, do you realize what you witnessed last Saturday?
George,
it is so shocking.
I've been through enough. I've seen a pandemic. I've seen an attempted assassination. I'm wondering what's next.
No, it is...
But I did sit for a while though, and I went back to the days of Theodore Roosevelt when I watched documentaries on Ronald Reagan, John F. Kennedy, and to literally see it before my eyes. And the greater thought that came to me, George, was what if that assassin was lucky, or what if Donald Trump wasn't so lucky? What would have been the news today? Again, reading from the reactions that I would have watched from the time of JFK, just wondering in an era of social media, what would the news be like today? Well, we certainly are living in some unprecedented times, and I've always heard that before, and I think yesterday, for me, was the realest indication, the closest indication to what persons have been saying. We're living in an unprecedented time.
Fact of the matter is that the gentleman who was the subject of this thing doesn't help situations like these by virtue of what he says and who he is. But that apart, would people be satisfied if the assassin was lucky. Yeah?
There are people who would have been satisfied.
There are many people who would have been satisfied.
And that's the part about it. Many persons.
And that, as I'm saying, is influenced by the man who was the target. But even so, would we be accepting of a man running for office? A man who a lot of the US population want as their leader. We forget that. Trump isn't somebody who the Americans don't love, A lot of people hate him, and they'll tell you that they're justified in their hate. But the man has the support of a lot of the United States of America because he represents them. So the hate that he stirs and the kind of feelings that he seeks to tap into where some people are concerned, people will say, well, it's a product, it's what he does every day, it's coming back to haunt him. Mm-hmm. But still, you'd want that? I don't know.
And I think it's a reflection as well. Wanting that is a reflection of the state of that country and the people within. That's such a truth.
Living Well is brought to you by the New Walters Pharmacy, Black River, St. Elizabeth. Everything exceptional.
On Living Well today, the effects of smoking on the body. Before you light up the next cigarette, take a deep breath if you can and listen to this. Lung cancer is the most common form of cancer caused by smoking. More than 80% of cases of lung cancer are due to smoking. Smoking cigarettes causes many changes in your lungs and airways. Some changes are sudden, last a short time, and then go away. Colds and pneumonia are examples of this. Other changes happen slowly and last a long time, often for the rest of your life. These are chronic changes. Emphysema is an example of a chronic change. Cigarette smoke contains many chemicals that interfere with the body's method of filtering air and cleaning out the lungs. The smoke irritates the lungs and leads to overproduction of mucus. It also paralyzes the cilia, tiny hair-like structures that line the areas and clean out dust and dirt. Paralysis of the cilia means mucus and toxic substances accumulate, resulting in congestion of the lungs. What are added problems? The immune system is the body's way of protecting itself from infection and disease. Smoking compromises the immune system, making smokers more likely to have respiratory infections. Smoking also causes several autoimmune diseases, including Crohn's disease and rheumatoid arthritis. It may also play a role in periodic flare-ups of signs and symptoms of autoimmune diseases. Smoking doubles your risk also of developing rheumatoid arthritis. Smoking has recently been linked to type 2 diabetes, also known as adult onset diabetes. Smokers are 30 to 40% more likely to develop type 2 diabetes than non-smokers. Additionally, the more cigarettes an individual smokes, the higher the risk for diabetes. Recent studies show a direct relationship between tobacco use and decreased bone density. Smoking is one of many factors, including weight, alcohol consumption, and activity level, that increased your risk of osteoporosis, a condition in which bones weaken and become more likely to fracture. Significant bone loss has been found in older women and men who smoke. Quitting smoking appears to reduce the risk for low bone density fractures. However, it may take several years to lower a former smoker's risk. In addition, smoking from an early age puts women at even higher risk for osteoporosis. Smoking also lowers the level of hormone estrogen in your body, which can cause you to go through menopause earlier, boosting your risk for osteoporosis. Most importantly, however, smoking causes cancer. Tobacco smoke contains more than 7,000 chemicals. About 70 of them are known to cause cancer. Smoking cigarettes is the #1 risk factor for lung cancer. But smoking can affect your entire body and is known to cause cancer in the lungs, trachea, bronchus, esophagus, oral cavity, the lips, nasal cavity, larynx, stomach, bladder, and pancreas, kidney, and more. Do yourself a favor. Put that cigarette down, and you will have a better quality of life and just maybe a longer one. That's Living Well for today. Tune in next time for Genetically Modified Organisms, or GMO.
Living Well was brought to you by the New Walters Pharmacy, Black River, St. Elizabeth. Everything exceptional.
Fearless and fair. Nationwide 90 FM.
We live in a world where everyone is exercising, but at the same time, do so with care. Hi, I'm Tana, and these are your lifestyle pages. Coming out at the crack of dawn to jog by yourself might not be a very good idea. However, if you choose to do so in groups. Leave all valuables at home, such as phones, iPods, and jewelry. Do not trod on roads and lanes you don't know. Jog on roadways that are adequately lit. It's also best practice to tell a family member where you're heading, and to maintain a particular time when you get back, so that just in case you aren't back at the designated time, your family may see it as an indicator that something is wrong. And change your route at least twice per week. I'm Tana, and those were your lifestyle pages.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting.
From Negril Point to Morant Bay, a little kindness can go a far way. The time by the Jamaica Information Service is
News Time, 7 o'clock.
If you need to build it, plumb it, weld it, pave it, or power it, National Supply has it. Get the best brands for the job at Jamaica's Industrial Hardware Superstore, Kingston Normal Bay. The temperature by National Supply is
28 degrees Celsius in both Kingston and Montego Bay.
The most credible news in the morning. The news at 7 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Coming up in the news at 7 this morning, Monday, July 15, 2024, 100 new buses are set to be added to the JUTC's fleet today. The JPS says restoration work will be done in small, isolated communities this week. The NWC says only about 15% of customers who lost water due to Beryl are still without supply. And in international news, Donald Trump says either God or just plain good luck saved him from would-be assassin.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. The Jamaica Urban Transit Company JUTC is set to take delivery of 100 new buses today. The buses are due to arrive at Kingston Wharves later on Monday. The Transport Minister, Daryl Vaz, says the development is a case of promise made, promise kept.
You'll recall that in November, December of 23, when the misery index was at its highest in relation to the waiting time for buses by the JUTC, I gave a commitment that help was on the way and asked for the patience of the commuters. I subsequently announced the purchase of 100 buses, and I had indicated throughout the time that they would get here in July in time for back to school. Well, I can say that that commitment has been made and met. So what I'm saying is that we will have 100 new buses in the fleet for back to school, which will obviously improve things significantly. But 100 buses is one thing. We still need to make sure that the allocation of these buses in relation to routes and the redeployment of other buses make all the routes better served for the September morning.
The buses are valued at over $3 billion. Minister Vaz says commuters will be able to track the movement of the buses using a mobile app.
These buses are smart buses, and therefore the commuters and the public at large will be able to interact through an app which will allow for them to track these buses to see exactly what time they are expected at the various locations. So we have a plan to roll out, and you'll hear more about it in due course.
Daryl Vaz, Transport Minister. The Jamaica Public Service Company, JPS, says its restoration efforts will target small, isolated communities across the island this week. This as approximately 26,000 customers outside of St. Elizabeth remain without power 12 days after Hurricane Beryl battered sections of the island. Shalois Michael has that story.
Approximately 96% of people outside of St. Elizabeth who lost power due to Hurricane Beryl have been reconnected to the power grid. Speaking with Nationwide News on Sunday, Director of Corporate Communications at JPS, Winsome Callum, says the remaining customers are mostly located in smaller communities which the company was previously not able to access.
We have made significant progress in getting electricity to our customers since the passage of Hurricane Beryl. We haven't gotten to everyone, but we have, outside of the most badly parish of St. Elizabeth, we have just over 26,000 customers in multiple parishes without power. Now, these customers are in locations that are affected by damage caused to the infrastructure, or they are in communities that we have not been able to access. In most cases, based on the reports that we're getting, these customers who are still out are in communities where parts of those communities have been restored.
She says the teams have been deployed in parishes across the island to expedite restoration to these communities.
We have an approach that is meant to expedite the closing out of these small areas that are still without electricity. So we have teams working in every single parish, dealing with the individual customers, dealing with those small communities, those single streets here and there that still have not gotten back their service. This is the most frustrating time for our customers. We understand that because you see everyone else getting electricity and it has been a while. But I guarantee you that we are doing our very best and we are going to get to you over the next few days.
In St. Elizabeth, the damage to power lines caused by Hurricane Beryl is about 5 times worse than the rest of the island. Ms. Callum says it may take a few more weeks before electricity is fully restored to customers in the Breadbasket parish.
We've already started restoring customers in St. Elizabeth. We have identified the extent of the damage, and based on what we have seen during our damage assessment, we have indicated that it may take us up to early August to get every single customer back on in St. Elizabeth. But we have already started, and every day we are adding more and more customers. So we have a number of communities that we are energizing today in St. Elizabeth, and this will continue every day. Over the next few weeks, we'll have about 300 persons working throughout the parish to get the power back to our customers in St. Elizabeth.
Shalois Michael for Nationwide News.
Meanwhile, the JPS says some customers in Hope Pasture St. Andrews should have their service restored today. The service was suspended for scores of customers on Sunday, July 14, due to challenges with the aged underground electrical network that serves the community. Public Relations and Media Manager at JPS, Audrey Williams, spoke with our news center on Sunday.
We are working on that as well. We do expect that by tomorrow, power will be restored to that part of Hope Pastures.
Audrey Williams, Public Relations and Media Manager at JPS. The National Water Commission NWC says water has been restored to approximately 85% of customers who've been without supply since the passage of Hurricane Beryl. The acting Corporate Public Relations Manager at NWC is Delano Williams.
We have progressed with the restoration of quite a number of potable water supply plants over the last 10 or so days since the passage of Hurricane Beryl. At this point, we are at approximately 85% of our customer base is now receiving piped water, whether on regulation or back to their normal supply times.
Williams says some customers may have to wait a few more weeks before their supply is restored.
Some of the systems that rely on public power supply realistically could take a few more weeks in terms of electrification getting back to them. Similarly, there are some systems which we have which require cleaning of the intakes because of a lot of silt and debris, a lot of gravel, and those will take some time for restoration work. Average time is about a week for those systems. So it will vary given the terrain for some places. The hardest hit parishes would be St. Elizabeth and Manchester areas, and to an extent as well we are having to deal with the realities in South Clarendon.
Meanwhile, the NWC says it may not have to reimpose water restrictions in the corporate area and St. Catherine given the strong inflows to its storage facilities.
If there is not a significant increase in the storage levels, we will have to put it back. But we're hoping that the rainfall that we're getting now post-burial, if it continues on the same trend, we may be able to relax if the dam levels and the reservoir levels get to a level that can sustain 24/7 water supply over the next several weeks until the formal rainy season gets to us. The Constant Spring network is at 100% in terms of the capacity of the dam. The Mona Reservoir was in the 70s. We're hoping the inflows continue to rise, or if they are even sustained at this level for the next week or so, we could be in a position where we can relax the regulations.
Delana Williams, Acting Corporate Public Relations Manager at NWC. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the government is accelerating recovery efforts in communities worst affected by Hurricane Beryl.
Persons are frustrated about their water, they are frustrated about their electricity, and we are working double time to restore that. I know some areas in St. Elizabeth have got back electricity. I've gotten a few calls to say thank you, we have got back our electricity, but not enough. And so I'm not here saying that the problem is solved, but I'm here saying that the problem is being worked on and we're seeing results.
Speaking in Clarendon on the weekend, the Prime Minister appealed for patience, even as he said he understands the rising level of frustration.
I say to the people who are very frustrated now, please continue to have faith. Your electricity and your water will return. And I know for most people, that's what they want. They want their electricity and their water, and they will find their way. They will do the rest. And so we are working as quickly as possible. And there has been a marked improvement in telephone service. So generally, in the hardest hit areas, we are seeing incremental movements towards recovery. In the coming days, we intend to accelerate, and the JDF and the line ministries will be working together for synergy to ensure that the people of Jamaica, especially the people on the south coast of Jamaica who have been so terribly hit, that they are properly served.
Meanwhile, the Prime Minister commended the Jamaica Defence Force for their role in the post-burial recovery effort.
The JDF is the repository really of the country's logistics, engineering and security capabilities. So what the JDF's role is to act as a kind of multiplier of the resources that may exist in the standing agencies. So, for example, the JDF will be assisting with the humanitarian relief. The JDF will be assisting with assessment. And so they deployed their drones to be able to do rapid aerial assessments, which has really enhanced our capabilities to do these assessments and to get very granular and to see scale of damage.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness. The Manchester Police are probing the murder of 2 people and wounding of a man at a business place in Bigwood District, Craighead, on Saturday night. The deceased are 39-year-old businesswoman Tanisha Burton, otherwise called Browning, and the 74-year-old Wilfred Mallison, otherwise called Danny, both of Bigwood District. Reports are that about 10 p.m., residents heard loud explosions in the community and alerted the police. On their arrival, the police found 3 people suffering from gunshot wounds. Burton and Mallison were pronounced dead at hospital, while the other man was admitted for treatment. Police theorized that Miss Burton may have been the intended target. One resident, who gave his name as Henry, says the incident has left him rattled.
I shock out, nervous this morning when me hear what go on. Can't believe. I never seen nothing like this here yet. We and Browning got market together and thing. And this man here, me know me also for me a little boy. Yeah. I never know any golf in nothing yet. I never hear them demand nobody and no problem, no quarrel, no cussing, nothing yet. I feel it, man. First of all, we are on the right now because we don't know what happened. Can't believe what happened or what go on.
Henry, a resident of Bigwood in Manchester. The Ministry of Health and Wellness has begun sensitization sessions under a program dubbed Operation Refresh. The program forms part of the government's efforts to allow community health aides to make home visits and health checks across the island. Speaking at the first session in St. Anne, the Health Minister, Dr. Chris Tufton, reminded the community aides of the importance of being the first public health point of contact at the community level.
You are going to have to be equipped with a kit so you can check a blood pressure if necessary. You are going to be an important source of information gathering because you go in a big yard and you notice the garbage is not tended to, you go back to the public health people and you say to nurse, and by extension to the environmental health officer, well, we need to do something about that here, otherwise leptospirosis is going to get them people here. So you are a critical source of information. What it means is that you have to see yourself as building relationships with your community. That's why a lot of you work in the community where you reside.
Dr. Tufton says the aim of the program is to give those Jamaicans suffering from non-communicable diseases an alternative to going to a hospital for illnesses that can otherwise be managed.
We have to get going, otherwise Rome is going to burn. And we're going to have to take some of the responsibility for that. We don't have enough hospital beds to store people who are hypertensive and neglect to take their medication. Even the better thing for you, why you are so important, is that in the context of community health, outside of the public health nurse who provides supervision for you, and maybe the doctor who works at the health center, the community health aides are the most important person at the level of community health.
Dr. Chris Tufton, the Minister of Health and Wellness. Overseas news now. Former U.S. President Donald Trump says he's supposed to be dead after Saturday night's assassination attempt at a rally in Pennsylvania. In one of his first interviews since the incident, Trump told conservative U.S. media he felt he had been saved by luck or by God. Trump says it was the most incredible thing that he happened to not only turn his head, but to do so at the right time. He says the bullet that grazed his ear could have easily killed him. A spectator was killed in the attack while 2 other people were seriously injured. The gunman, who also died, has been named as Thomas Matthew Crooks. That's the news.
Sign up for the JN Money Card. It's safe, convenient, and free. The time by JN Money is
7:15.
JPS is warning the public against making payments to impersonators offering to reconnect electricity for a fee. Not only is this practice illegal, but it also puts the lives of customers and JPS workers at serious risk. Please be reminded that every legitimate JPS worker will have their photo IDs and will not solicit payment to have lights reconnected. For updates on restoration, follow their social media pages at MyJPS Online.
At Design Privacy, we value relationships. Join our exclusive open DPO community and interact with privacy professionals. Share ideas, insightful challenges, and build career-boosting connections with expert advice at your fingertips. Get access to specialized tools, exclusive workshops, and case studies. Enjoy unparalleled networking. Join Design Privacy's open DPO community to expand your expertise and excel in your career. Visit opendpocommunity.com today and take your data privacy skills to the next level.
On your mark, set, get ready to go! It's time for the True Juice 5K, the one-of-a-kind experience taking you through the beautiful True Juice Orchards in Bockwalk, Sunday, July 21, 2024. Register now at truejuice.com. Entry fee only $2,500. Come run, walk, and have fun while raising funds for the Linset Hospital. Follow at True Juice on Instagram for more details.
You can have it all. Company events, birthday parties, or the wedding of your dreams. It's all possible at Grand Palladium Hotels and Resorts. We have magnificent event rooms and a dedicated team that will make your event the best experience that only Grand Palladium Hotels and Resorts can offer. Contact us at 876-619-0000 or call your favorite travel agency and ask about our promotion designed especially for you.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute is brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
Street Smarts 2, Ludlow McLean, on the streets. Good morning, my friend. What's happening?
Yeah, man, the street, man, on the street. Good morning, George. Good morning to our listeners. Well, the road's still not looking too bad enough. I can tell you from now. You remember Retirement Road, it used to be a very busy road during this, when school was, earlier on during the year. Things are free flowing around that side. Places like all these areas, Lyndhurst Road, Russell Road, all these areas are moving good. Even down the bottom of Maxfield, coming up to Hagley Park Road is really free vehicular movement. Spanish Town Road is busy though, from 3 miles to going all the way into the Market District area. It's not too bad, but it's moving. Going across Marcus Garvey Drive, it is also free-flowing at the moment. No major delays. Lots of vehicles coming out of Portmore, yes, exiting onto the Marcus Garvey off-ramp. And downtown, not bad. Port Royal Street, Water Lane, all these areas are moving freely. Going up to South Camp Road, and then further up from South Camp Road to Camp Road, all good, no problems, no delays. You'll notice vehicles at the intersection, but that's nothing to be worried about. And I want to remind the authorities about the intersection of Lady Musgrave Road and Olop Road. Very important intersection. And earlier on, I did mention Trafalgar Worthington. All right, those lights are not working. One little thing about the grid, George.
Yeah, man.
George?
Yeah, man.
The JPS grid, funny, you might be next door and that person have light and you don't have any, but the grid is what operates the whole thing. But some people might say, oh, you have light and I don't have light. But it's important that we understand these things. So maybe one day, I don't know if the lady that comes on could explain the grid. A grid might be in St. Elizabeth, but it affects the people in St. Anne or Trelawney. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sure Nora will pick that up with her later this week.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yes. All right.
Yeah, man.
Have a good day, all.
Thank you, Ludlow. Same to you. Ludlow McLean there with Street Smarts 2 and out. Up next, Front Page. Front Page is brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business. For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
(7:22). Thank you so much for staying with us. We're now on the front page. Minister of Finance and the Public Service, Dr. Nigel Clark, last Monday announced that Jamaica's tropical cyclone policy with the Caribbean Catastrophe Risk Insurance Facility has triggered a payment following the passage of Hurricane Beryl. Dr. Clark says the government received a preliminary modeled loss and the policy payment report from the CCRIF, the CRIF, which stated that a payment of approximately $16.3 million US dollars or 2.5 billion Jamaican dollars would be made. This policy represents the fourth level in the government's multi-layered disaster risk financing framework, with the estimated damage to the main road network alone amounting to $4 million. How will the government fund the recovery? We are joined this morning by the Minister of Finance and the Public Service, Dr. Nigel Clarke. Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Hi, morning.
Yes, hearing you now. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Good. Dr. Clarke, before we get to the fourth level, which is CRIF, could you speak to us about the other levels that would have been triggered, that were triggered, in fact, getting up to this fourth level as it relates to what we have to mitigate the spending, or to fund the spending, rather, for the bird recovery?
Okay. So I just wanted to break the levels down into two parts. The first part is what we call the risk that we retain, right? So we retain some amount of risk, and then we transfer higher levels of risk. So the levels that represent risk retention include our National Disaster Fund, which we went into this hurricane with about $500 million in it. We have the contingencies fund, and I'd given a previous figure of $4 billion. The figure is actually, the latest figure as at March 2024 is actually $5.3 billion. I gave an earlier number dating to a previous period. So it's actually $5.3 billion. And then the third layer of the components where we retain the risk would be the credit contingent claim with the IDB. And there we have, as I'd mentioned before, a potential of up to $47 billion. A contingent claim, a credit contingent claim, is a pre-financed loan with the IDB that doesn't have to go through any documentation, any sort of approvals or any, cabinet or board or attorney generals, kind of things that take months. It takes months to agree to financing from the multilaterals. The credit contingent claim is something that we have agreed to the financing, years ago.
Okay, so we would have been servicing that loan product.
No, there's no servicing.
Okay.
It is on standby essentially, in the event of a natural disaster that meets certain criteria, and it can be drawn down. Right? Not the total amount, by the way, not the total amount, but whatever amount of it
whatever
triggers.
Amount is needed.
Yeah, well, whatever amount triggers, they run their models and they say, look, of this amount you can get X.
And with this particular product, is it a payback system, or how does it work? Is it a grant?
No, this third layer, as I said, is the reason why we classify that under risk retention is that ultimately, we have to finance that ultimately, right? It's a financing. It's a financing from the IDB that has to be paid back, this third layer.
Okay.
But I don't want that to be, because we have to pay it back, it shouldn't be discounted. What you don't want to do is to enter a situation like this and have to be starting from scratch in trying to find financing. The fact that you have this pre-financed, it's ready and waiting, you can just draw it down, puts us in a very, relatively a much stronger position than we've been in the past.
Okay.
The fourth and the fifth layer now relate to risk that we have transferred to entities that provide, let us use the word, insurance. Right? So the first three layers is, look, we're taking the risk ourselves. Just like with any other thing that you insure, if you try to transfer every risk from the first dollar up, it would be too expensive. So we choose levels below which we retain the risk on the books of Jamaica. Then above that level, we say, the risk is too high. We need to transfer it to providers of insurance. And we do that through two main products. The first is the Caribbean Catastrophe Reinsurance Facility, which provides parametric, model-based insurance for, and we have policies for tropical cyclones, we have a policy for excess rainfall, and a policy for earthquakes. And then the fifth layer is the catastrophe bond, which covers us for really, really, strong hurricanes, high intensity hurricanes, of which Beryl, as bad as it was in parts of Jamaica, was not. Beryl was not, compared to a hurricane like Dean or a hurricane like Ivan, Beryl was much weaker, meteorologically speaking.
Okay. As it relates to the CRIF policy minister, 2.5 billion Jamaican dollars to be paid out. How much do we have of that now on the books? How much have we received from them?
They've confirmed. As I said, I received the payment notice. The payment date, is going to be just a few weeks out. So we have not received it yet, but we expect to receive it in a few weeks.
Minister, I wanted to just back up a little bit to just add some context to what we're talking about with this whole disaster risk insurance matter. You write that over the 10 hurricane seasons between 2007 and 2016, and you name the system that impacted Jamaica. Dean 2007, Gustav in 2008, Nicole in 2008, Gustav in 2008, so 2 in 2008, Sandy in 2012, and Matthew in 2016. You write that despite the impact of those 5 natural disasters in that period, 2007 to 2016, there was no payout from the then CRIF policies for Jamaica. Why?
Right. So, the way in which we started out, we're trying to have CRIF cover too much area, right? We had sort of one layer in our disaster risk insurance, and we expected it to cover everything from low intensity to high intensity storms, from low frequency to high frequency. And, our CRIF policy was basically overworked and overburdened, and, it just couldn't cover that entire area. That's why you need multiple layers. The policies today, George, we have, our CRIF policies have what they call an attachment point, which the easiest parallel to that for listeners to think about is the deductible in a home insurance policy, i.e. the level below which the policy does not trigger. The attachment point earlier in our journey with CRIF was very high. The exhaustion point was also very high.
Yes.
And exhaustion point is the point above which the full maximum amount under the policy pays out. So the parameters that we had in the policy, and one can understand, because what we're trying to do is to have CRIF cover a wide, just cover a big area.
Yes.
With multi-layers now, we can have each layer specifically cover, each layer complements each other, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah, man.
So, CRIF doesn't have to work as hard. In other words, we can focus CRIF. Well, today, let's give you facts. Today, the deductible for CRIF is much lower, and exhaustion point is also lower as well. So I just give you those as the observation. So I used in my tweet last week, and I will hope to follow up with another article shortly. But I use the analogy, to say the thing that comes to mind is the parable of Matthew, where the fishermen were told they got no fish on one side of the boat, and they were told to cast their nets on the other side. I say that to say that the net of CRIF, there's nothing wrong with the net of CRIF, the fishing net of CRIF. We just needed to cast it on the other side of the boat. Mm-hmm. So what is good about, if there's anything good, is that the multi-layered framework is working.
Yes.
It is showing its value. 4 of the 5 layers have been triggered. And what we have to do, George, is to keep it up for decades to come, right? The purpose of having an insurance is not for it to necessarily trigger every day, right? Mm-hmm. But for it to trigger when you need it. And, we have now had CRIF policies. This will be the 17th year. It took 13 years took 14 years because we got paid in 2021. But let's say 13 because the hurricane was in 2020. It took 13 years for us to have the first trigger from our CRIF policy between 2007 and the first trigger was in 2020, Hurricane Eta, the tropical cyclone policy trigger. 13 years for the first trigger. And as I mentioned in my article, the sentiment against CRIF became very, very negative after that experience of 5 hurricanes and it did not trigger. We didn't throw away the CRIF. We didn't abandon the CRIF. What we did was to engage with them, and policy parameters were, optimized, updated, etc. And, look, we've had 2 payouts in the last 4 years, and I fully expect that we're going to have another payout on our excess rainfall policy. So let's see what happens there. I can't be definite, but I expect that it's going to happen.
Let's take the break, Minister, and come right back. Speaking with the Minister of Finance and the Public Service, Dr. Nigel Clark, talking about disaster risk insurance.
Give up every illegal gun. Call the police at 119 or Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Ministry of National Security is
7:34.
Feeling stuck in endless paperwork to secure a small business loan from a bank? Access Financial Services can unlock your growth with an SME loan. Borrow up to $20 million with easy requirements and fast approvals. Whether you are ready to boost productive capacity, get working capital, or acquire real estate, say goodbye to the hassle and hello to growth. Grow your business with an SME loan up to $20 million from Access Financial Services. Call 876-929-9253 or visit accessfinanceonline.com. Conditions apply.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
The best Burger King with the best tasting burger under the sun. You deserve the best, you are number one. Best. Flame grilling, juicy whopper, cause you deserve it. Yeah, next level, awesome, that's how we serve it. Mama menu done your way. You got the taste rules every day. Flame grilled goodness, you deserve it. Great taste, well done. More flavor, fresh Burger King, best tasting burger under the sun.
Minister of Finance and the Public Service, Dr. Nigel Clark, is with us. Dr. Clark, obviously, as people see the news articles emerge about the levels of insurance that we have, and then hear stories from the Prime Minister and the heads of government agencies and ministers talk about the damage to individual sectors, roads alone, $10 billion and counting. The obvious thing to wonder is, will there be enough of a drawdown to cover the damage that has been caused across sectors and to infrastructure? And what's that answer, sir?
That's a good question. The numbers are still coming in, so I don't want to make any sort of conclusive statements. What I will say is that, as I have been saying on other programs, the way to sort of think about the government's response is to think about it in 3 phases. The first is relief, where we address the humanitarian dimension of the crisis, had come to people's aid and support. And relief is sort of immediate in the aftermath of the hurricane, and it peaks early in terms of the outflows. The next phase, which begins before relief concludes, is recovery, where we aim to put the economy in a position where the recovery process can begin in earnest, and so that at some point in the future, we are back to where we were pre-Beryl. So just by way of an analogy, if a road is blocked, then a part of recovery means you have to clear that road so that, people can get about their daily lives, trucks can go and deliver goods. That is recovery, and the recovery process has begun, and that will, take some time. And then the final phase, which is the biggest phase in terms of resources and takes the longest time, is reconstruction. Mm-hmm. Reconstruction, clearly there's some amount of overlap. There's some reconstruction that's required for recovery, but not all reconstruction is required for, you to get back up to where you were. There are elements of recovery that are, non-essential, if you understand what I mean. So that component of recovery, which has the biggest bill, we can plan and fit into a normal sort of agenda to accomplish over time in a way that makes sense. But it would be difficult to be more definitive than that at this point. But the way to think about it is relief, recovery, and then reconstruction.
Two things, Minister. First of all, I want you to hit this one first. But based on your preliminary numbers, you think that based on the budget, we'd be able to do whatever necessary reallocations that need to be done in order to suffice the need?
Well, that is always that's always an option. We also have some of the resources that we spoke about earlier, even though we don't want to leave the cupboard dry just because we're at the beginning of the hurricane season.
Right.
So, we and one has to also consider that, revenues for July definitely will be affected, maybe even August, because, for one, tax offices were closed for a number of days the week before last into last week. So when you put that on top of the expenditure, it will pose a challenge. But we've been here before. We've been in worse situations before with less resources on hand. So we will be able to get through this. Jamaica has the flexibility in its finances to be able to get through this in a planned and prudent manner. It might involve some reallocation, yes.
And as it relates to now, Minister, the Spark program, because we have so many roads that were damaged, and the Spark program, a $40 billion project, is intended to fix some of these many roads that have now further suffered because of the impact of Hurricane Beryl. Is there any consideration by the Cabinet and by government to fast forward aspects of the Spark program to have one complete rehabilitation of those particular roads?
Yeah, I think that the latest information I have is that and Minister Morgan will speak to it more definitively, but that program is going quite well prior to Beryl. A number of consultations have happened already, and the procurement is far advanced. So that you're right in pointing out that if the Spark program was a priority before Beryl, it's even more of a priority after Beryl. So we don't expect that program, is going to be affected by the passage of Beryl. Use of proceeds might differ, right? If you understand what I'm saying. And so something may not be called Spark, but it's still roads. So the total allocation, I believe, to roads under Spark will not be affected. If you understand the clinical way I'm defining that.
Minister, I know you like an explainer, so I wanted to touch something on FATF before you go in the next 2 minutes. Mm-hmm. And it is to ask this. The communication that you advanced when you were in Singapore recently about Jamaica's removal from the grey list and the significance of that, I just wanted to ask you something for clarity, because I wanted to know the danger that Jamaica courted as a FATF grey listed country as opposed to now when we are no longer on that grey list, given that FATF itself says that the grey listing does not call for the application of enhanced due diligence measures to be applied to a grey listed jurisdiction, neither do the standards envisage de-risking or cutting off of entire classes of customers, but rather calling for the application of a risk-based approach. In other words, when you read the language of FATF and what they say about grey-listed countries and the fact that there are so many countries that have not been examined so as to put them on the grey list or the black list, Jamaica's removal from the grey list, what is the substance of it in real terms?
Yes, in real terms, what happens, George, is that when a country is grey listed, especially a European institution, then remember, even American or Canadian institutions that have European subsidiaries get caught by European expectations. What happens is that there is greater requirement for due diligence when doing transactions with Jamaica, because the last thing that any of those entities want is for them to end up being fined by the regulators in their countries for transactions that they enable that emanate from another jurisdiction but that become suspect. So what ends up happening is that if you think about it, George, the trillions of dollars that flows around the world every single week, right, just to make the world go around, that can only happen if transactions happen in an unfettered way at speed.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The moment you have to stop to engage in diligence, high level diligence, right, it slows things down. And for Jamaica or for any country under the grey list, what I mean by risk-based is that you scrutinize high-risk countries that are deemed to be high-risk in a manner that's commensurate with that risk. So Jamaica would have been in a high-risk category. And so there'll be more scrutiny demanded of Jamaica when doing transactions internationally.
But what's your reasoning, Minister? Because, again, I'm looking at what FATF says, and it says, when the FATF places a jurisdiction under increased monitoring, it means the country has committed to resolve swiftly the identified strategic deficiencies within agreed time frames and is subject to increased monitoring. So being on the grey list doesn't mean that you are trending towards delinquency, for want of a better word, but that you are willing to work with the authorities to regularize or to lift the conditions that cause it to be grey list. And FATF makes the point that by being grey listed, we are not saying that a country ought to be subject to greater due diligence. So you are saying that notwithstanding what FATF says, the fact of grey listing attracts greater levels of due diligence.
Well, let me put it this way, George. FATF doesn't use the word grey list.
Yeah.
Okay, there's no definition of grey list in the FATF glossary.
Well, what it actually says, based on...
Let me just finish.
Yeah.
Yet, grey list is a reality.
Yes.
Right. So I'm just using that as an analogy to say FATF can say whatever they want to say. Right? The effect is the effect.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just using a simple analogy for your listeners to understand. The wording of grey list, as much as that is a reality in the world. Right? Grey list is a reality in the world. FATF doesn't speak about grey list. They speak about enhanced monitoring, some euphemism. But the way in which the world interprets it, FATF speaks about high risk and jurisdictions that are seen to be high risk.
Mm-hmm.
And the moment institutions see that designation, that you're seen as high risk, these standards go up. Yeah, the level of scrutiny and work, which is why, you'd have seen from our financial sector, one of the biggest sort of advocates and benefit of making sure that we did this thing right would have been entities in our financial institutions, would have been financial institutions in Jamaica.
Yes.
Because they feel the brunt of it and the reality of it. So FATF doesn't want to come across as somebody who's the entity that's doing harm. So they use language that's euphemistic. But the reality is the reality that you're placed in a high risk category. And certainly the Europeans, FATF is dominated by European countries. It consists of 38 wealthiest countries in the world, right? Those are the people who make the rules for FATF, the 38 richest countries in the world that account for 80% of global GDP. Of the 38, maybe 20 are European. Right? So it's dominated by European countries. And let me tell you that the Europeans take that seriously. So Jamaica is placed at risk. And then once you're on the grey list, the possibility of slipping to the blacklist. And remember, FATF does not use, you cannot find the word grey list or blacklist in anything produced by FATF. Okay? Those are words that the world uses to describe the reality.
Well, in point of fact, though, Minister, the FATF website, it actually says this list is sometimes referred to as grey list, but it's not their language. So that's what they say. So yes, you're correct, of course.
It's not their word.
Yes.
I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Right? So there is what they do officially, and then there is the impact of it.
Yeah.
And as I said, if you are on the grey list and you don't do what you're supposed to do, then you end up on the blacklist, where you don't, people will stop doing business in your country, and you'll just have a downward spiral.
Financial purgatory, you can call it, Minister. We're out of time. Thank you for the explanation. I had to ask the question so that people could get an understanding of the significance of the grey list removal, Jamaica, and it's a continuous process to stay away from the whirlpool of grey listing and then the black hole of a blacklist. Thank you for your time this morning, Minister.
Thank you for having me.
All right, that's the Minister of Finance and the Public Service, Dr. Nigel Clarke. More after these.
Listen up, motorists. Speeding burns more gas. So slow down. The life you save may be your own and also that of your loved ones. Slow down. Save lives and money. The time by the Insurance Association of Jamaica is
10 minutes to 8 o'clock.
At Hawkeye, our mission is to deliver cutting-edge security solutions to help you keep track of the things you value most.
The temperature by Hawkeye is
29 degrees here in Capital City, Kingston, also 29 Northwest in Montego Bay.
Is there a small business person in your community making a big difference? Do they inspire you and others? How are they helping? Let the Supreme Ventures Foundation know who is your Supreme Community Hero. Nominate yours and we will select 5 community-based businesses to receive a grant to invest in their business and in the community, plus entrepreneurial training. So, who is your Supreme Community Hero? Visit sv-foundation.com to nominate your Supreme Community Hero now. Nominations close July 26.
I pursue opportunities.
I prepare for opportunities.
I plan for opportunities.
With Sagicor e-Invest, you can prepare, plan for and pursue IPO opportunities. Browse IPOs, review IPO details and prospectuses. Select and apply for a featured IPO. With Sagicor e-Invest. Think wealth. Visit sagicor.com.
9 minutes going up to 8 o'clock. We're still on the front page, but we turn our eyes now from disasterfully to an aspect of it, water. And we are told by the National Water Commission that water has been restored to approximately 85% of customers who've been without supply since the passage of Hurricane Beryl. To get more information on this, we are due to be joined by the acting corporate public relations manager at the National Water Commission. He is Delano Williams. Of course, George, some customers may have to wait a few more weeks, they say, before their supply.
You say that matter of fact, like, you know. Nah, it's a serious thing, man.
Mr. Williams, good morning.
Hi, morning, gentlemen.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. First of all, 85% of customers have water. How much customers does that percentage represent?
Let me do a quick math. So we have 540,000 customers.
Okay.
Right. So we're talking about 450,000.
All right. And I was just accused of saying that others will have to wait a week. As a matter of fact, pros. Sir Williams,
yes.
For the persons who are without water, what's the situation? What's the hold-up? Why can't they get water in their pipes?
It's not one factor. So we have some systems that are still being cleared. So you'd have some river systems that have a lot of silt or mud coming in. We are getting access to those now. Some of those works would have started a few days ago, so we are closer to the end. So some persons will have water in 24 hours. There are others that we are still making progress to get to the facilities or to complete the cleaning of the facilities. And we also have some systems that are still awaiting power. For instance, Greater Mandeville is substantially electrically driven system. So from the foot of Spur Tree Hill going all the way into Mandeville, we still have no power on that section. We have some systems in northern St. Elizabeth, similar challenges there, where there is no power as yet. And I just want to be clear that while we're waiting on the JPS, they are also working to get to those power lines that are down in order to restore electricity in a safe and reliable manner.
Okay, so as it relates to the persons, you said some should get water in the next 24 hours. What areas are we talking about?
Right. We are working, for instance, on our Magasu system. Yesterday, the power was restored to the area. We are now doing the maintenance checks at the facility. Our teams in St. Thomas were also working on the system called Port Morant, which is on the eastern side of the parish. To get it requires some cleaning, some electrical work at the facility, pipeline replacement. Those have taken a little bit longer, but it is ongoing work to get the supply back in place. Around Black River in St. Elizabeth, our teams are running, about 3 or 4 pumps are currently running on generator because the public power supply system is not fully back. But some locations are easier to get to or easier to set up with power supply in terms of alternate power supply, while others can pose challenges in terms of literally getting to the facility.
Okay. Is there, I know for JPS, for example, and the energy part, you have to wait on them. But for the other pipes that have silt in them, as you mentioned, what's the timeline looking like for those areas?
Well, those vary. Typically, our turnaround time is, say, 2 to 3 days for cleaning, sterilization. But why I said it will vary with facilities is simply because you could have one facility with 3 factors. Could have pipeline disruption, clearing of the intake, and then power supply. In some instances, we have turbidity and power supply. So one may resolve, but if the rains continue, the river sources continue to be turbid or muddy, we can't pump the water even if electricity is fully up and running at the plant. What we have been doing, gentlemen, is we post on our website and also our channel the systems that are coming back that we are targeting for each day to allow customers to be able to check and see what areas they are working in. And if they have any follow-up questions, they can contact us.
Mm-hmm. Happy to have you this morning to ask you this question, if nothing else, Delano. From time to time, we get calls here that there is an issue of, should I describe it as brackish water, a mix of salty and potable water in St. Anne, southeast St. Anne to be precise. Is there a problem out that side?
Southeast St. Anne?
Yes, with salt water seeping into the potable water line.
Help me in terms of?
I'm trying to find I can't recall the community, but I know Southeast St. Anne because that's Lisa Hanna's community, and we've gotten at least 2 calls from different people in that part of the island complaining about that and raising cane to say they've been to the JPS offices in the community, the specific communities, but in the area, but they've the town, but they've not had any justice in terms of resolving that issue. They say the salt content is so high that pipes have been corroding and everything, and I'm saying, but this is a serious issue. And so I wanted to know if you've had any reports of salt water in the potable line anywhere in St. Anne or out in St. Mary at all.
No, none of those 2 areas have come to my attention. I can take the report back to our team and see if they have had any reports that we are now investigating. So any direct local to say, Brownstone, etc. That I know it's not Brownstone. Just using an illustration that you can share with me, then it would be good. What we find, just to explain Stay Line, is that we dig wells which go underground. Sometimes they go down several hundred feet. Over time, sometimes the wells either dry up, collapse, or sometimes the sea levels rise underground, and you may begin to get more salt content. Normally, we do an adjustment, meaning we start pumping from a higher level before the sea level gets to the water. Or if necessary, we shut down the well altogether. So we would have done that for a number of systems in Lionel Town. For a number of years, we also retired our Rocky Point well. And so we are treating with those issues as they come. So I'll be happy to investigate this one for you as well.
All right, I'll get some better particulars for you. Well, so the word to the customers, those of your customers who don't have supply or have intermittent supply in the immediate aftermath of burial, what's the final word to them this morning?
Well, a couple of words. We crave the patience first, but we are also committing that as quickly as possible. We will be getting to them. The truth is, because of where we are now, we're dealing with more remote areas, small systems that are sometimes way in the riverbed and so on. They take more time to get to them, but we're giving it our best shot. Areas where we can, we do trucking as well, or we're inviting, for instance, in St. Elizabeth, there are some communities that can access our Hounslow plant or our Luana plant. If they have trucks, we'll be happy to sterilize and fill up for them if our trucks can't get to them fast enough.
Hear you on that. Thank you for your time this morning, Delano. All the best.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Acting Corporate Public Relations Manager at the NWC, Delano Williams. Front Page was brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
8 o'clock.
From the mountainside to seaside, countryside to townside, inside and outside, it's across Jamaica this morning.
Time now to take you across Jamaica. The Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, KSAMC, has passed a resolution to name its council chamber in honor of Jamaica's first national hero, the Right Excellent Marcus Mosiah Garvey. The official naming will take place during a special sitting of the KSAMC. The official naming will take place during a special sitting on Saturday, August 17, which is the 137th anniversary of Garvey's birth. The resolution, which received unanimous support, was moved by Councillor for the Whitfield Town Division, Eugene Kelly, and seconded by Deputy Mayor and Councillor for the Siverite Gardens Division, Senator Delroy Williams. Marcus Garvey was an elected councillor in the KSAMC, representing the Oldman Town Division in 1929. Residents of Comfort Castle in Manchester are experiencing severe water problems as Right. So residents of Comfort Castle in Manchester are experiencing a disruption in their water supply. The National Water Commission says the interruption is a result of mechanical issues at the pump house in Comfort. The company says the affected communities include Ingleside, sections of Greyground, Grove Place and surrounding areas. Meanwhile, customers in sections of St. Andrew are also experiencing either low pressure or have no water at all. The NWC says this is as a result of an electromechanical issue at its Forest Hill relift facility. The areas impacted are Rock Pond, Red Hills, Brentwood, Lees Flat, Belvedere, Mosquito Valley, Stirling Castle, Forest Hills, Stirling Castle Heights, East Kirkland Heights and West Kirkland Heights. The company says its maintenance teams are working to resolve the issues in the shortest possible time. The Ministry of Health and Wellness has begun sensitization sessions under a program dubbed Operation Refresh. The program forms part of the government's efforts to allow community health aides to make home visits and health checks across the island. Speaking at the first session in St. Anne, the Health Minister Dr. Chris Tufton reminded the community aides of the importance of being the first public health point of contact at the community level.
You are going to have to be equipped with a kit so you can check a blood pressure if necessary. You are going to be an important source of information gathering because you go in a big yard and you notice the garbage is not tended to. You go back to the public health people and you say to nurse and by extension to the environmental health officer, well, we need to do something about that yard, otherwise leptospirosis is going to get them people there. So you are a critical source of information. What it means is that you have to see yourself as building relationships with your community. That's why a lot of you work in the community where you reside.
Dr. Tufton says the aim of the program is to give those Jamaicans suffering from non-communicable diseases an alternative to going to a hospital for illnesses that can otherwise be managed.
We have to get going, otherwise Rome is going to burn. And we're going to have to take some of the responsibility for that. We don't have enough hospital beds to store people who are hypertensive and neglect to take their medication. Even the better thing for you, why you are so important, is that in the context of community health, outside of the public health nurse who provides supervision for you, and maybe the doctor who works at the health center, the community health aides are the most important person at the level of community health.
Dr. Chris Tufton, Minister of Health and Wellness. That's how we close across Jamaica.
Success, powered by learning. The Temperature, brought to you by Sandals Corporate University. Come grow with us is
29 degrees Celsius in both Kingston and Montego Bay.
More savings, more choices. Get active with Active Home Center. The one-stop shop for everything for your home. We have more savings, more choices, unbelievable prices. Wide selection with the latest styles. The kitchen, bathroom, right down to the tile. Buy the hottest items on spot, don't miss out. Best options under one roof, no doubt. More savings, more choices.
Visit us in store or online at www.activehomecenter.com.
We have more savings, more choices.
Did you know that many of my schoolmates have an unhealthy diet, especially at school? And now 23% of them are overweight and or obese? And so one less sugary drink at my school may mean one friend less,
or two or three,
at risk of cavities or diabetes. And if we're served less foods high in saturated fats, sugar and sodium, it may reduce our risk from obesity, heart disease and high blood pressure. The solution is simple, right? Act now. Let's get unhealthy foods and beverages out of our schools.
A message from the Heart Foundation of Jamaica and partners.
The Jamaica Observer is always ahead. But did you know we're also number one by far? With over 18 million page views on our website, over 800,000 followers on Instagram, and a following of over 500,000 followers on Twitter.
We're tapping into an audience like no other.
And the numbers don't lie. Contact the Jamaica Observer team today to reach your target audience. Give us a call at 470-9172 to advertise with us.
The number one by far.
Getting some happiness from abroad? JMMB Money Transfer makes it easy. Receive your money transfer in minutes directly to your JMMB Money Transfer Visa prepaid card, or pick up cash at over 100 locations island-wide or in any local bank account. Just ask your family and friends to send money through any of our international partners like MoneyGram, Ria, Remitly, or Zoom. It's safe, fast, and simple. Day or night, happiness is just a transfer away. It's as easy as JMMB Money Transfer. Call 876-998-JMMB or visit jm.jmmb.com/moneytransfer for more information.
Donald Trump arrived on Sunday in Milwaukee, where he'll be formally nominated as the Republican presidential candidate later this week. Trump, of course, arrived on an assassination attempt that has aggravated an already bitter U.S. political divide. Meanwhile, Joe Biden ordered a review of how a 20-year-old man with an AR-15 style rifle got close enough to shoot at Trump from a rooftop last Saturday. Trump has lifetime protection from the U.S. Secret Service as a former president. We have more in this report from the BBC.
Has arrived in Milwaukee to attend the Republican National Convention, where he'll be formally confirmed as his party's candidate for the presidential election in November. The former president said he considered delaying the trip after the attempt to assassinate him on Saturday, but he could not allow a shooter to force a change in his schedule. At a rally in Pennsylvania on Saturday, with just over 24 hours to go before the convention, Donald Trump was grazed by a bullet fired from the rooftop of a nearby shed. The Secret Service coordinator for the convention in Milwaukee said her team was confident about the security plans for the event and was ready to go. Well, our North America correspondent, Nomia Iqbal, reports now from Milwaukee.
Little more than 24 hours after an attempt on his life, for Donald Trump, the show must go on. He arrived in Milwaukee, where he'll be confirmed as the presidential candidate for the Republican Party later this week. The bloodied and defiant images of him are likely to define an election that was already turbulent. For President Biden, who is under huge scrutiny over his ability to run, took the moment to call on Americans to settle their differences by voting, not by violence.
We can't allow this violence to be normalized. You know, the political record in this country has gotten very heated. It's time to cool it down. We all have a responsibility to do that. Yes, we have deeply felt strong disagreements. The stakes in this election are enormously high.
As we pray, I want to thank God for protecting President Trump and sparing his life.
At a local vigil, there were prayers and messages for the former president.
People here are shocked by what's happened to Donald Trump. There are dozens of his supporters here. They were already going to vote for him, but now they're even more energized.
Look what we do. Every time something happens, more money is raised.
I saw our epic leader stand up in the face of terror, being injured, and say, fight, fight. And we have got to fight now more than ever for our nation.
Crooks. There is still so much unknown about the motives of the would-be assassin. 20-year-old Thomas Crooks from Pennsylvania is now dead. 50-year-old Corey Comprator was killed at the rally after diving on his family to protect them. President Biden says there will be an independent investigation into what happened. And as the Republican National Convention begins today, America's political rivals will now have to adjust to a totally changed presidential race. Nomia Iqbal, BBC News, Wisconsin.
Well, our correspondent in Pennsylvania, Jenny Kumar, gave me the latest on the situation in Butler after that assassination attempt on Saturday.
So I'm here in Butler, and we're just about half a mile away from where the attempted assassination happened. And actually in the last half hour or so, they've removed a cordon around this area. This has been, for the past 24 hours or so, a live investigation crime scene. Today we've had some updates about the investigation. Some details have emerged about the shooter. The FBI have said that they think he was a lone operator, but they are looking into whether anyone else was involved. They're trying to get a sense of the motive behind it, so they're looking at social media, an online presence. It's also emerged that he was the member of a gun club for about a year. The gun that he owned was legally owned by his dad. It's just not clear whether he was given that gun or whether he had the gun with permission or whether he'd taken it without permission. We have been speaking to some people that knew the shooter, and they've said that he was very good at school, he got good grades, and that he did really well at government classes. The investigation continues, really, looking into the motive. Earlier today, President Biden spoke about the fact that there would be an independent review into what happened here, and also into the Republican convention. I'm just stood a short distance away, and behind me a tribute has been set up. There's some signs talking about broken hearts. People have laid flowers in tribute to the man that was killed. He was in his 50s. He was 50, and he was a volunteer fire worker, and we understand that he shielded his family from the shot. So there's been tributes paid across the political spectrum, community leaders praising him, and we've had a bit of an update in terms of the two people that were injured at the event. They are said to be stable in hospital.
That report from the BBC. We will open the phone lines now. 630-9371, 630-9372, 630-9373, 9374, and 618-8255. We're entertaining those after this break.
Crisp and refreshing. Room temperature or chilled, a Pure Water would drink. The time by Pure Water is
40 minutes after 8 o'clock.
Upgrade your home or business with Cameron Industries and Joinery Limited. Explore a range of termite-resistant plywood, quartz, solid surface, and granite. Experience timeless elegance with our cedar doors, crafted from premium cedar stock, kiln-dried for durability and beauty. For quality and craftsmanship, visit us at the Trade Center Kingston 10 or Hatfield Mandeville. Call 876-963-062-830. Cameron Industries and Joinery Limited. Transform your space today.
My Mega
With so much to do in one location, make Megamart your one-stop shop. Pick up your groceries and houseware needs, grab a bite and pay some bills. Fill your prescriptions and see the beauty products in our pharmacy. All in one amazing location. My Megamart, the best value by far.
best value by far.
8:15 on the clock, and it's Monday morning, Monday, July 15, 2024. May I say congratulations to the Spanish for winning Euro 2024 and for beating the international team that I don't want to win anything, the English football team. Very, very happy that Spain managed to see off England. The best team at the Euros won the Euros, and they went through every game unbeaten, didn't need penalties in even one game. And a pity they lost Rodri at halftime to injury. He was the best player in the tournament, but in the form of Lamine Yamal, who turned 17 on Saturday, and Nico Williams on the other side of the other wing. Those hot wingers combined to give Spain the victory. Mikel Oyarzabal Oyarzabal came off the bench to give them the winning goal after Cole Palmer had drawn England level. England perhaps thinking of extra time at that point, but Oyarzabal breaking their hearts, and I'm very, very happy when England lose at football. I don't know why. Also, congratulations to Argentina for winning the Copa America.
To the GOAT.
What a GOAT?
Lionel Andres Messi.
For real?
Absolutely.
It's not CR7 not a GOAT?
Where?
No, may I ask
Nowhere
you?
close.
Okay.
That debate was finished from Messi won the World Cup.
Oh, okay.
And Messi's now competing in a class by himself. He must be lonely.
Oh, so
He's
Messi
at the top.
So Messi's the greatest footballer you've ever seen.
The greatest footballer I have ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
And by the way,
Yeah.
he now has the most titles of any footballer ever.
Most titles where? You mean internationally and
Internationally
club?
and club wise.
Oh.
Most titles ever.
Okay.
I think he's now at 46 titles.
Okay.
Surpassing Dani Alves,
Okay,
the Brazilian, who sat at the top with 45 titles.
Yes. So Messi's in your young life, Messi's the best footballer you've ever seen.
In my young life,
yes,
there needs to be no qualification.
There
George.
needs to be no qualification.
There needs to be no qualification. He is the best footballer, the greatest of all time. He is the GOAT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, Dave is online. Good morning, Dave.
Good
morning,
Dave.
sir. Morning. Turn on the radio, Dave.
Okay.
Or turn it off. Yeah, one of the two.
Morning.
Yeah, man, morning.
David, you lock off the
I was
radio?
just speaking to a resident from Alexandria District in Clarendon, that's near Chapelton.
Mm-hmm.
And they asked me please to get on the program and announce that the JPS workers are collecting money to put on back the light. And then 4 instances. And they came to her and she refused from contributing.
Hold on there. Clarify something for me. One, you say Alexandria in Clarendon, right?
Yeah, that's near Mount Providence, near Beckford Crawl, near Chapelton.
All right, cool. That's one. And you say, is it that people are collecting money to put on the light, or JPS workers are collecting money?
JPS workers, they are advocating for monies to be collected from residents, and they came to her and she refused to contribute. And she said, right now over in Pennant, that's past Summerfield, they have $30,000 collected waiting on the work and the JPS worker, and the same thing in Beckford Crawl. 4 instances she was able to name.
And these workers are clad in JPS outfit and in JPS motor vehicles?
And this is, to me, is a scandal.
No, man, answer that question.
What I'm asking, are these workers in JPS apparel? In other words, how do you identify that they're JPS workers?
When they would have paid the money, the light would have been connected. So there's no question about whether it is bogus. It is the people who are doing the work collecting the money. There's no question about that.
Mm-hmm.
When the money would have been paid, the light would have been.
So it's not. So you're saying it's not impersonators. It's the workers themselves.
Not impersonators.
Mm-hmm.
JPS. Whether they are directly employed to JPS or they are contractors,
Yeah.
I suspect they are contractors.
Yes.
But that is the practice happening in Clarendon, in North Central Clarendon.
Here's what you can do for me. Can you give our producer your number so that we can get the JPS in on this, and so we can give them better particulars, because this is a serious matter which they've been at pains to point out.
People kill people.
No, then that's why I'm not asking your name on air, sir. May I ask if you go off air and give my producer your contact? She alone will have your contact. Okay. And because don't you want something to be done about it?
We want it to stop.
Exactly. So this is how I'm helping you.
Possibly refund the money.
There you go. This is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to assist you. So I'm not calling your name on air or asking you any personal information, but just hold the line and Michelle will take some information from you. All right? So we can connect you with JPS.
I said that someone here in the chat, Kavian Allen. He's also saying that there's a case of JPS workers collecting.
Hold on side before you go that. So hold the line for me, Michelle.
Will do.
Take the details here.
Yeah.
What are you saying now?
This person says that there's a case of JPS workers collecting money for reconnection in the Burn Savannah area of Westmoreland.
What? All
There's
right.
also a Burn Savannah in St. Elizabeth.
No, there's Bull Savannah. There's Bull Savannah and there's Burn Savannah in 2 different parts of the country.
You sure Burn Savannah is not in St. Elizabeth, is it?
There are 2 B Savannahs. One is Bull, one is Burnt.
So where's the Burnt?
Burnt, I think that's in the that's the
Westmoreland?
Yeah, and I think Bull would be.
So
in
Bull is the St. Elizabeth.
Michelle, who else we have? Oh, she's busy trying to work out with that caller. But yeah, anywhere in the country you are, and people impersonating JPS workers are asking you for payment to reconnection, don't do it. And if JPS workers themselves are doing it, please, you need to report it to the authorities. Call us here and we'll help you to connect you with the JPS where you can make that report. Because, as night follows day, I knew this thing would happen.
That's serious.
Yeah, and we need to stop that. So if there's any instance of impersonators trying to get you to pay to put your light back on, or JPS workers themselves asking you to pay them to do what JPS is already paying them to do, please don't stay silent. You need to report it. If you can't get through to JPS, you can call us here and we'll try to connect you. All right? That gentleman says the incident is happening in a few communities in Clarendon. He mentioned Alexandria. He said something about Penance. He said something about Summerfield. Sounds like North Central Clarendon to me. And not good. Not good at all. Not good at all. All right?
So, George, you have a Bird Savannah in St. Elizabeth.
So you have two burnt and one bull?
Yeah, it's a 2 burnt and 1 bull.
2 burnt and 1 bull, all right. So burnt in St. and St. Bess, and then bull in where? In Westmoreland again? Check that.
Bull is...
Bull
is in St. Elizabeth.
Bull is in...
Yeah.
Well, I was right with that one.
Yeah.
So bull is in St. Elizabeth and burnt is out.
Right.
All right. Who else we have, Michelle? Lisa, good morning.
Hi, morning, George.
Good morning.
Morning, Saeed.
Good morning.
I'm sure I heard, I think maybe in the 7 o'clock newscast, the Minister of Health was on, speaking at a community, what was it? Community health work or something of the sort.
Yes.
Right. So this is the second time I'm hearing it. I'm nationwide, and I've gone onto the ministry's website. I've been trying to get through to them. I want to know how I can volunteer, because where I live, my community, that there are a lot of elderly persons, and sometimes I speak with them.
Yes.
So I would like to volunteer to be, a part of this.
Let me see if I can. Are you a health worker?
No, I'm not. I'm into credit financing, but is there a specific qualification? That's what I just wanted to get information.
Man. All right. Here's what you can do. I'm going to give you a number on air because it's part of a press release for the manager of public relations at the Ministry of Health. You ready for that?
Yes.
501 27 29.
So 501 2729.
Yeah, that's Petre Williams Rayner.
Petre Reynolds.
Petre, Petre Williams Rayner. She's the manager of PR and communications at the Ministry of Health. And that's her mobile number. So give her a call there, or let me see if there's another number on this press release. Or you can find the minister. They're very responsive, on Twitter and on Instagram. So if you just type in Ministry of Health and Wellness. You try that?
I limit my social media.
Okay, all right. Make the call and see if you get through.
Sure.
All right?
No problem.
Yeah, man. Thank you for volunteering. That's so noble of you. I hope you get through.
I hope so too. Thank you.
All right.
Sure.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
Bye-bye.
Good morning, Richard.
Morning.
I'm in Portland.
You're not sounding so good at all. Richard? No, we're not hearing you so properly. You're chipping in and out.
The bad service I'm getting.
Okay, you're sounding better now.
Yes. In short source, we have got back our lighted. The JPS volunteered for the guys and to dig the post hole for them. Hadn't done it. They didn't work on the weekend when the post hole they were dug from Friday.
Hold on, but so people manually dig post holes still?
Well, and do that.
Richard, you need to find a good spot to stand in because the signal is wavering. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm.
All right. See.
Phone system properly.
Oh, go again. Let me see if I can hear you. No, Richard. It's challenging this morning. I can't hear my brother. I can't hear you. Richard, you need to tell me specifically now. If you're hearing me, tell me specifically the community. I hope I can hear you. that you had the saltwater problem in, because I raised it with Delano Williams from the NWC this morning, and he said he has not gotten any report out of St. Anne, St. Mary's side about saltwater in the potable water line.
Yes. This is East Portland, starting from Drapers right back into Black Rock, into Shore Forest, Ferry Hill.
Yeah.
You know.
All of those
Boston.
communities.
Yes.
And you're certain?
I live in the area, sir.
Didn't mean have to ask if you're certain, Richard. Yeah, you're going like you're annoyed with me. May I try to help you?
No, I live in the area, and I even do TV interview about it.
Yeah?
And I called the Water Commission about it. A news station, and they're aware of it. But if it's a cost,
then if they're aware of it, will you call me and harass me morning time for ask JPS feet?
They're dragging it because they're not communicating with us to let us know what are their plans, and we are not annoyed because it costs us a lot of money to put in asset, to change asset.
Okay. All right, no problem. So your appeal this morning is for the JPS workers to continue the work that they started, right?
Yes, because we dig the hole for them, and they didn't do no work for the weekend. Now we are still without light.
The residents dug the holes?
Yes.
Oh, what you use?
I didn't do it, but the resident did
it. All right, my boss. So you're saying that all they need to do is drop in the post and connect the wires?
Yes. And one thing, Judge, I need the government to put in a law in place that no tree that above the light post should be less than 100 meters away from the light post.
100 meters.
Yes.
That's gonna be difficult, but I see what the thinking is.
Yeah, everything must be under 6 feet if it's gonna go near the light post or light wires.
All right.
So whenever we have this disaster, we don't get back this kind of system again. We have to be proactive, not reactive.
Yes. All right, Richard. I hear you this morning. Thank you.
My respect.
Yeah, man. Cool. Winston, morning.
Good morning, Winston.
George, morning.
Morning.
How is that inside?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, George, you know, last Friday, right? The discussion on your program. First of all, let me just start from scratch. Nationwide is a reputable station, a station of integrity that has a wide audience, local and abroad, right? There was a discussion on Friday about a certain individual from the NIA, Mr. Monroe.
Yeah.
You know, and right after that discussion, you spoke with an 83-year-old gentleman.
Yes.
And you have some questions where President Biden is concerned, but I'm not going there. You know, I just want to make it clear, George, that people from about 50 years old going up, that has a taste of that history and where that certain gentleman is concerned. Hold on. When these discussions take place, especially on Nationwide, with that gentleman name, Mr. Monroe, it put a bitter taste, amount for the rest of the year, maybe the whole of the weekend. Because when it touch on that keyword here, especially integrity, come on, man.
So you
had a bad weekend.
So you don't believe Professor Monroe has the moral authority to speak about integrity?
At no time at all.
Okay.
At no time at all.
Why?
And if you do a poll in the country,
yes,
right? I would think maybe 10 out of 10 would say no.
Really?
Who knows the history?
But Professor Monroe has a strong reputation in many places, and people view him favorably.
I'm very surprised at all you're saying that. I don't know you're right at that result.
No, but it's a fact. Look, remember, he was the founding principal director of NIA. He's a university professor. He is a man who has had interactions with people at every level of society, at academia, at the level of politics. He has a strong reputation in many places, so you can't deny that.
And what before that? Anyway, George, I think you have been around for a good little while, So I think you're just juggling the ball around. Right?
Oh my God!
But I'm just putting it out here.
No, but hold on now. I don't want you to quarrel with me. Hold on now. I'm saying, if you, because of his antecedents and things that he was involved in and how you view those links, if you don't believe that he's a credible man where integrity is concerned, then you turn off the radio when him come on.
Yeah, but we can't turn off from Nationwide. That's my problem.
I see what you mean.
I'm not telling me
I see what you mean.
People.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean. But to be fair to you, you're remember, you know. Listen, when we were children, we were taught that if it's not wrong, it's right. So only one thing can be wrong and one thing can be right at the same time. You can't have something where that is the gray area. I'm saying this to you that there are many people who have the highest regard for Professor Monroe, as well as there are many people who don't want to hear nothing about him or hear nothing from him.
No,
so
man,
you are not alone, you know.
No, not many, George. You're well learned, man. I mean, well, you're very bright. Because my friend him speak about you, you're very articulate.
But
you have many people. You have few people that regard him in high places.
No, man.
We have more people.
No, man. No. Hold on. No, man. You have enough people who rate him, but you have enough people who don't want to hear nothing from him either.
No, more.
Oh, you don't say more.
More. If you put it out there, I tell you.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm just saying to you that when the name come, all right, George, nothing is wrong with someone doing something wrong.
Yes.
But come clean and apologize and listen. I stand for a correction. That was the right time. I'll pick up the pieces and move on.
So you want truth and reconciliation, Desmond Tutu style, and for Professor Monroe to talk and seek forgiveness?
From about 35 years ago.
Okay. Long overdue, you say?
Long overdue.
All right, my boss. Listen, right, I don't want you to turn off Nationwide, but if him come on and you don't want to hear him, turn it down.
But I mean, I tell you, it affects a lot. It mash up my Friday.
I hear you, sir. I believe you.
Yeah.
But just to know that there are several people, many people who want to hear him just the same, and they want to turn up the radio loud. But if you don't want to hear him, no problem.
But well, we always can disagree to agree, but I don't agree with you. Have a good morning.
All right, Winston, respect.
Cool.
Yeah, man. King? Who lies in wait on the other side? Rose, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Rose.
I am on the air.
Yes, man.
Yes. Tuesday gone, I went by the Burger King up by Constant Spring Road, sir. Hello?
Yeah, man, hearing you loud and clear.
Yeah, and I went in to buy a burger. When I went in, I stand in the line with some other people. There comes a dirty man, come right through the line and enter into the bathroom. I was so amazed. So I saw him come out of the man bathroom and went into the lady bathroom.
What?
So I said, my God, what is this happening? So I went, after I seen go back in the man bathroom, I went down there, and one day he really come to use the restroom. So I said, this is dangerous. Somebody could come in there with their kids and ask their kids to go and wash their hands, right? And the parents still remain sitting. And anything could happen to that child. Because I heard of an incident that a lady sent her son to go into the bathroom and not at that place. Mm-hmm. And she said, why taking so long? And when she go and want to know why it's taking so long, he find the child. I heard that they find the child on the ground with the bottom full of blood.
Oh, no. Hold on. No, wait. Rose, no. So here's the thing. Let me ask you. You had a problem with the person because of how they were dressed or they were groomed, or because they went into both male and female restroom?
I don't have a problem because of how he dressed. He's a dirty madman.
Oh, he's a madman. You only said dirty. So the person look homeless. Look like them not
yes.
Yeah. So your
go ahead.
So your problem is that the man went into both the male and female restroom. That's the problem you have.
Yes, but what I'm saying, what is this I'm saying? A child could be in the bathroom, him lock the door, and anything could happen to the child in there because the parents, them sit down and don't.
But hold on, Rose. Hold on. I'm not going to reason it out. So if it was a man in clean clothes with a briefcase who walked...
No, I would have the said problem.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to establish. So hold on. So the problem you're having is not with any kind of man, any kind of appearance going into a restroom. You're saying adults should not send their children unaccompanied into public
Alone.
restrooms.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
It is
There you
dangerous.
go. I hear you. And I agree with you.
So, I was so upset till I didn't never want the burger again.
Yes.
I step out, and when I step out, there goes, I was going down, and when I look at the security guard, sit down outside, viewing the cars, them, when him should be at the door, or somewhere near, when we could have watched what's
But you see that now,
going on.
Rose? You see that now? I don't want you to pass the responsibility on to the security guard either. I want you to keep the responsibility where you started, at the parents or the guardian or the adult with the child.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm agreeing with you that should not happen. Children should not be allowed unaccompanied into public restrooms in these times. I can agree with that.
Anything could happen.
Yeah, man. Understand.
They could cover them out and do them.
I agree with you. But it's not.
Incident
Yeah, man. But I don't want those details, Rose. But I'm saying to you, don't blame the guard, blame the adult or the parents or the responsible person with the child for allowing the child to go alone. I don't want that to happen. So I'm agreeing with you this morning that that's a problem.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay, darling.
All right, Miss Rose. Alric, morning.
Good morning, Alric.
Morning, man.
How you do?
Me there. No electricity yet where me live.
Where you living? Where you live, Alric?
A junction, but me live around a mile and a half from the town, and up where me live, 8 lights posts pop out at 10 from where me live to go down at Exton get back light.
So light all around you and you in darkness.
I'm in darkness. The whole of my district in darkness, Ridge.
Because I heard that junction got back light, so I thought everywhere in junction was
man,
lit.
junction got back light and up to down to Exton, less than a mile from where we are have light. But I count 8 light posts down between where I live and down where we get light and all. No, me not see nobody.
So you haven't seen any workmen since last week, since Beryl struck?
No, I haven't seen anybody. What I want to do is to walk down there, walk along the roadside shortly, and take the photograph and send to Nationwide. WhatsApp thing. I'm going to talk to Cliff later. We're suffering up here, man.
Didn't Alric should have done that long time, man?
The wires are hanging.
Yes.
Total chaos. No truck can come in. The carman, the mafia, come hitch up wire or put stone pan wire to keep it down. Ridge District.
Yes.
Exton Ridge.
Yes.
The one near to the dumb school. Nothing.
Take the post numbers, Alric, as you've said, and send them to the WhatsApp line, and we'll try to see if we can appeal to JPS.
Yes, I'm going to walk down today and do it and send them to the WhatsApp line. Is that, George?
Yeah, man.
Man, how you do?
I'm doing better than you because I have light. Tana, good man, she come back tomorrow.
To come back tomorrow. Yeah, man, we're suffering. I don't know if our Tana side get back light.
I think she has light, man. I think she has light.
We don't have any.
So you need to help yourself, Alric. So do that. Take those pictures and send them in. All right.
All right, George. Have a good day.
Yeah, man. You too. You try have a good day
right,
too.
Cool.
That rough. Who do you mean? Andrew. Andrew, morning.
Good morning, Andrew.
Morning, George. Morning, Sadiq. According to Cliff. What's his name? What's his name? Cleveland.
Morning.
By the way, where's Cleveland? I haven't heard him on the radio in a while.
Him called me last week Thursday, but he called me straight.
He's good?
Yeah, man. Him good, man.
Okay.
Cleveland good. Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. But I just have a concern that I want to highlight. I noticed that some PNP spokespersons, Senator the Honorable Dr. Floyd Morris, for example, or Professor now, saying that the government must look about housing. The government is already doing that for the hurricane victims. I see some other spokesperson talking about they must give out relief package. The government is already doing that. The point I really want to make is when news items or releases come to the newsroom, people like you, the deputy executive editor, you just ferret them out and throw those things aside because that's just promoting mischief and propaganda, like the government not doing anything.
Yeah.
They just want to be relevant. So those are non-news. You don't carry those.
I see what you mean, but here's the thing now, Andrew. There's a thing in a democracy called an opposition keeping a government honest and keeping them on their toes. So an opposition spokesperson makes a call, especially in a time like this, you don't ignore a call being made, notwithstanding the fact that you, the person in the newsroom, know that you've seen information to suggest that the government is doing what is being called to be done. And oftentimes, that's just the headline in the statement from the opposition. There are other things, other suggestions that they are making that will form part of the story as well. So in the instance of the gentleman you mentioned, Professor Morris, there were some suggestions he made about, how the relief could be done or things that the government could do in the immediate term to help the people who are struggling. So it was not an unreasonable story to carry. But I understand what you're saying.
I'm by the way, I'm not hitting Professor Morris. I'm just saying, I'm not saying you are saying I'm doing it, but I'm just making it clear because he's somebody I know quite well.
Yeah, man. I never got that impression that you're hitting him.
We attended two institutions together and I know him quite well.
Yes.
But that's the point I really want to make. So many other things I could talk about, but that's really what I want to say.
Yeah, man.
I mean, in your capacity, ferret them out, man. Show away somebody something.
Yeah, I know. Every release met news in the brethren. You should know that, you know. But in times like these, when the opposition calls for certain things and then make some suggestions, you are duty bound to carry those items.
All right.
All right.
All right. Have a good day, gentlemen.
You too.
You too. Take care.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's next?
Holy ringing in Mr. King background, man.
I think I've been hearing that from last week or week before. So what's true about?
Cleveland, no? Morning, Cleveland. If the people want to ask for you, man.
Morning, George.
Morning, sir.
Me was tearing up. Me going for about 6 weeks.
Oh, where you say?
Come back Sunday night.
So where you careful with? Where you careful with?
You want Irish Spring?
Me don't want a green T-shirt, you know, sir.
You want Irish Spring?
You know, say Irish Spring, Cleveland. We were talking the other day in the newsroom when Saeed was in Atlanta, and they were saying that they should ask Saeed to bring back Irish Spring. You see him?
Yes, man. Me see him on my TV. I give out Wally Patterson in the man in country.
Oh, what you say?
Yeah, Jesus. But me like when they shine, you know. Me like when they don't shine, go and shine, master.
Yeah,
I love that.
Why you never tell me that, Saeed?
Yes.
Say it on TV, foreign. Oh, what you say? You think the little man do?
Oh,
Judges, man.
Argument, Jesus.
No, you mean sports news?
I tell you.
You mean sports news, Cleveland?
Eh?
Sports news in?
Yes.
Ah. Come on, which news you at?
Yeah, man, me about another place, time. But when me over there, me listen to them on YouTube, you know.
You have light up in your place?
Yes, man, nothing happen already.
You have water too?
Yes. Well, our water go and come. We know when they lock off and when they turn on. So we had some yesterday before we go church.
And your big house never get the damage, Cleveland?
My big house?
Mm-hmm.
You said about my big house, sir. Me over America, Fred, to me house stop. Then when me talk to them, sometimes my son gets really upset with me because boy, I'm so worried.
Because you're a fret more house.
Not really the house per se, no, but it's just the comfort and, you know, the young people them in the house.
Understood. So you never had, the property never had any damage?
No.
Here you are.
That's good.
And your neighbors were good too?
Yes. No, up here coming like nothing happened, George.
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing happened up here. When they come and see the place, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
You see, the high up the storm didn't pass by this way.
I hear you, sir. All right.
Yeah, man.
We're glad to hear from you.
Me there in another place.
All right, sir. Cool.
Then.
Cleveland, same of Irish Spring, forgive it. Irish Spring, them say Irish Spring don't smell like what it used to. It don't smell as good.
Well, I wouldn't know. I don't use it.
Yeah, I don't use...
It's too high scented for me.
I don't use bar soap. I've not used bar soap since probably like 2001 or 2000. Yeah, man. I only use...
body wash?
Yeah. I cannot stand bar soap.
Why?
I don't know, something about it just, you know. And I can't use rag. I use loofah.
Oh, I use the loofah?
Yeah, I can't use rag. So I haven't used rag or in the way that you have it or bar soap since about maybe 2000 or 99 or thereabouts, yeah.
So it makes a better experience?
Yeah, man. But loofah and shower gel. Yeah, man. That are the perfect combination. I can't do rag business or bar soap, carb. No something. Do we take the break for the birthday now, King, or do we take another call? Yeah, King says birthday time.
This could be your year to build with an NHT loan. Find out more at nht.gov.jm. The time by NHT is
14 minutes to 9 o'clock.
I pursue opportunities.
I prepare for opportunities.
I plan for opportunities.
With Sagicor e-Invest, you can prepare, plan for and pursue IPO opportunities. Browse IPOs, review IPO details and prospectuses. Select and apply for a featured IPO.
IPO.
With Sagicor e-Invest. Think wealth. Visit sagicor.com.
Parents, gearing up for back-to-school expenses? Well, Chris and Charles is making back-to-school as easy as ABC. From July 1st to August 23rd, 2024, borrow at low rates, and here it is! You could win one of 24 back-to-school grants of $50,000! Imagine the possibilities, covering all your expenses and winning big! Call us at 876-926-0609 or visit our website for details. Conditions apply. When you think loans, think Chris and Charles. Authorized under Section 58, representing gaming and lottery.
When this whole world starts getting me down and people are just too much for me to face, I climb way up to the top of the stairs and all my cares just drift right into space. On the roof is peaceful as can be, and there the world below can bother me. Let me tell you now, when I come home feeling tired and weak, I go up where the air is fresh and sweet. On the roof, I get away from the hustling crowd and all that rat race noise down in the street. On the roof, the only place I know where you just have to wish.
So Leroy Rutty in the chat says George should use, one like George use carbolic soap. Let me tell you this.
Hold on, George, hold on. But you use carbolic soap?
No, he says man like me should use carbolic soap.
Why?
I don't know. Listen, carbolic soap for man who work on site or mechanic working at grease, or the people who work at NSWMA, the hard workers who go to the garbage dump. Carbolic soap and normal something, you know. Let me tell you why I hate bar soap. As a child, you know, you have to bathe with what your parents give you.
Yeah.
For me, the Lux and the fancy bar soap, it always had an after smell of like milk.
Really?
Yeah, but bar soap for me.
I don't know what you're talking
so
about.
I struggled all those years.
Come use Protex and the smell of milk.
I don't like Protex either, man. Castile, all them things. I hate bar soap with a passion. Yeah, man. Me rather be the dishwashing liquid than be the bar soap. I swear to you. Me don't know me hate bar soap.
That's ridiculous. Dishwashing liquid?
I rather. If it comes in.
So when you shower jelly, your skin not feel like abnormally dry after?
Sir. What are you talking about? With Axe? Or with St. Ives? No. Come now, man. Come now, Saeed. Come now. Axe. No. St. Ives or Axe.
Okay.
Yeah, the whole Axe series or the St. Ives whole series. Yeah, but I'm a not. I don't even like Old Spice, because Old Spice have an after smell. I'm not like either. You know, so yeah. I'm very particular.
St. Ives does not have, and Axe does not have.
No, sir.
After scent.
No, they don't.
For me, I don't know what you call after scent then, because all of them have a scent.
No, man. There's
when you beard, you smell like the soap. So I don't understand.
There's a
little lingering,
particular after scent where bar soap is concerned that I absolutely hate. And some of the shower gel them, the budget one them, me no fool on them either.
To the budget one them.
The Drifters 1964 up on the roof. Read the birthday under my lad. What up to you?
Happy birthday to 2 years old Kai Facey from Southern Trelawney. Happy birthday to General Spence Butner of Godfrey Stewart High School, class of 99. Wow. Happy birthday to Nigel Horton, to Donovan Collins, an attorney at law, to Steve Coates in Savnamar, Dr. Jeffroy Thompson in Sav. Happy birthday to Paulette McDowell in Florida, Sean Edison, Laverne Campbell. Happy birthday to you all. And of course, congratulations to the Godfrey Stewart High class of 99 on their first reunion over the weekend. Okay. Those greetings coming from Sergeant Wayne Wallace. Of course, we have your Facebook birthdays. Charlene Marie, Angel Norris, Lorraine Bailey, Camille McBride, Shanika Towers, Alyssa Mark, and Ramek Iloop. Happy birthday to you, our Facebook celebrants.
In the YouTube chat, Dahlia Shirley says, happy birthday to my mom, Miss Martha from Kellitz in Clarendon. Wishing you the best birthday ever. So Dahlia Shirley, happy birthday to her mom, Martha, Miss Martha from Kellitz in Clarendon. And Dahlia is wishing you, Miss Martha, the best birthday ever. Mizan Kirby says, happy birthday to my friend Stacy. Have a great one, bestie, and a speedy recovery to my other friend CJ Martinez. So Mizan sending happy birthday greetings to her friend Stacy, her bestie, and she's also wishing speedy recovery to her other friend CJ Martinez.
Valmax said she keep her bar soap in her bed.
I don't know that
okay,
work.
Good for muscle cramps. How that work?
Like
Val, me want understand how that one they work. Can me get hey, muscle cramp ever wake up yet?
No. You're a young boy, what muscle cramp for wake you up? What wrong with you?
George, why you have to fight me every day?
No, but I'm fighting. I try and understand, elucidate counts. What do you mean?
No, sometimes your hamstring just,
No, hamstring.
Yeah.
No.
Especially when the day is very hot and kind of low on the water intake. So like on a day, for example, when I'm in court all day.
Yeah. Doing what? Running laps?
In a court.
Exactly. Doing what? Running laps?
No, but I'm going to gym after. So the water intake kind of low and then I'm going to gym.
So all court have to do it. We know you're lying.
Because
I'm
not
have
a water bucket. I have a water bucket with me in a court. Yeah, drink water.
Yeah.
So I end up not drink the water.
Yeah.
And then I AC all day, so you feel thirsty.
Yeah.
But then now your body still need the same amount of water.
I understand it.
So sometimes you go to the gym now and then when you go home and you sleep.
Yeah.
Your foot just grab you and you sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. One ball.
Well, no, you ever go country and bathe with Fab?
Yeah.
Let me tell you this.
We bathed with Fab already.
Cool. Side rubbish. What you talking about? What you mean? No, listen. You did science at St. George's College, did you?
Yes.
Sir, when you have the powdered soap, the Fab soap,
it hot in your hand. It feel hot.
No, not hot in your hand. When the water touches it, the chemical reaction, the heat that is released.
Right.
Yeah. So when the Fab touch your skin when it wet, it's like a strike a mat.
No,
like
but me not make the Fab touch my skin.
Then how you use the Fab?
You put the Fab in a rag.
No, man.
I'm going to use rag.
You're not doing it the right way. You put the Fab in your hand, and when the water touch it, the fire lick your hand and you just dab it by your skin and rub it up, yeah, man. You can use a rag.
But when you wash off, you feel like anything will touch your body, your eyes.
Oh, they say after feel.
Yeah, man.
Okay, see after come again. Yeah, but the Fab thing, I wicked. But carbolic soap have the worst smell.
Oh no, I can't do that.
When you beat in carbolic soap, you walk outside and the man can smell it from
no cologne beats that carbolic soap. You can't outdo it.
No. The ad for it used to be Carib Carbolic, the working soap. Anyway, no bar soap to me thing. I'm sorry. Say anything I want to say. Anything I want to say. What Christopher said, George possibly bathe 3 times a day because only bar soap can bathe you properly. No, sir. No, sir. Somebody in the chat is encouraging Saeed to say what? George, what? Cramps in your sleep is a real thing? Nobody encourage Saeed. Saeed, a young boy, you're not supposed to have cramp in your sleep. Yeah, old people make it understand, but not you.
This is a lot of gaslighting from George this morning.
Jeremy, if you close off the birthday.
The Birthday Club was brought to you by Burger King, the best tasting burger under the sun.
We'll be making love
Monarch Ligony says, happy second birthday to Shaquan Sutherland from Mom. Have a sweet day, miracle child. So Monarch Ligony, happy second birthday to Shaquan Sutherland from Mom. Have a sweet day. So apparently Shaquan Sutherland is a miracle child. Your mom says you're 2. Happy birthday to you, Shaq. Melissa Williams says, happy 15th birthday to my nephew, Shaheem, future footballer. Continue reaching for the stars, champ. So Shaheem, your aunt Melissa says happy 15th birthday to you. She says that you're a future footballer and you should continue reaching for the stars.
Under the boardwalk, we'll be having some fun. Under the boardwalk, people walking above. Under the boardwalk, we'll be making love.
Hey, you ever been with Blue Bomber yet?
Blue Bomber?
Yeah, you know Blue Bomber soap.
Oh, that blue soap there?
Yeah.
No, I've never been with it.
There's another popular one. Blue Bomber and what are the popular blue soap? Blue Bomber and
you talk cake soap, right?
Yeah, man. Blue Bomber and there's another popular stamp on this. I see him cake soap, but them just change the name. Anyway, Blue Bomber. Hey, there's a soap called Rude Boy. You ever heard about Rude Boy? No. Rude Boy, they make it in the market and they sell it by the pound. So they cut it and weigh it. Yeah, man. So it's for people who work in construction and the clothes oily and greasy and have cement and everything. Only Rude Boy can do the job. Rude Boy can't sud it, no. So it doesn't produce suds.
Oh.
When you sit down and then rub the Rude Boy, clothes clean.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, there you go. Teach about soap. That's the program this morning, Said. Take us home.
Special thanks to our producer, Michelle McCrae Smith, to Tiffany Mordecai in the news. We need to stop calling her that. But keep on, big up yourself in the newsroom out there. Of course, special thanks to the musical maestro, Jermaine King. And of course, to our viewers, our listeners, and our sponsors. To those of you who've made this show possible time and time again. I'm Said Bernard.
And I'm George. Good morning.
Say the last dance for me.
You've just heard Nationwide this morning on Nationwide 90 FM.
But the music's fine like sparkling wine. Go and have your fun. Laugh and sing. But while we're apart, don't give your heart to anyone. But don't forget who's taking